will not legally recognize Russia's occupation of its territories. So that, of course, is another important point that he has raised. Thanks so much, Anakula, for joining us with those details. Viewers, we have some breaking news coming in. A suspected hostile drone was spotted deep inside the Indian territory in the Kajansu area of Jammu, near the Indo-Pak international border. Now, this happened in the afternoon today. The sighting prompted security forces to launch massive search operations, with police actively carrying out searches to locate the drone, which raised concerns due to its movement far from the border. That's the drone that has been spotted near international border. Now, what sort of drone is it? Is it a surveillance drone, or which type of drone it is? We do not know. It's a suspected hostile drone. It's spotted near the IB, the international border in Jammu, and that's the footage of that we've accessed for you, and we are showing that's the drone near the international border in Jammu. Matter, of course, being investigated, and this has happened just a while ago. Gursimran Singh joins us live from Gursimran. Tell us more about what are we picking up on this hostile drone, suspected hostile drone.
Yes, this was a hostile drone, and now this can confirm that it is a hostile drone that was seen inside the Indian territory. And now, as you see, the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the border security force has launched a massive crackdown to find this suspected drone that entered the Indian territory. It is not only that the Jawans are on the ground, but also the officers of the Jammu and Kashmir police, including the in charge of the local police post. He is also here, and with the help of sophisticated weapons, and they are searching this entire area, because this area in the past has also been, since it is being close to the Indo-Pakistan international border, this threat has always been persistent that this area might have been used by the Pakistan for its drone dropping. And here you will see that the border security force troops along with the J&K police troops, they are carrying out
the international north-south transport corridor, the Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor, and cooperation in the Northern Sea Route. These corridors promise to deepen economic linkages, reduce transit times, and expand trade access between Eurasia, across Eurasia and beyond. Our defense and military technical cooperation also remains robust. Russia supports India's Make in India goals, including joint production and technology transfer. The opening of 2 new Indian consulates in Kazan and Yekaterinburg need to be fast-tracked. That was also a subject of our conversation today. These consulates will further deepen our regional outreach and enhance trade and people-to-people ties. I took up the issue of Indians serving in the Russian army. While many have been released, there are still some pending cases with some missing persons. We hope that the Russian side would expeditiously resolve these matters. On global and multilateral cooperation, we reaffirmed our shared commitment to reform of global governance. We underlined the imperative to expand and energize the UN Security Council to reflect contemporary realities. Our collaboration in the G20, BRICS, and SCO remains deep-rooted and forward-looking. On regional issues, we discussed developments in Ukraine, West Asia, Middle East, Afghanistan. And I want to say that India's approach continues to emphasize dialogue and diplomacy as essential to resolving differences. On terrorism, we resolved to fight jointly against all forms and manifestations of terrorism. I conveyed India's strong resolve to adopt a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism and our sovereign right to defend our citizens against cross-border terrorism. I also invited the Minister to pay a visit to India to continue our dialogue. In conclusion, let me thank him and his colleagues for an open and productive exchange of views. We look forward to nurturing this relationship further in the very spirit that has underpinned it for decades. Thank you.
Спасибо. Итак, переходим к сессии вопросов. Пожалуйста, телеканал Rush Today. Ваш вопрос.
Добрый день, Сергей Викторович. Первый вопрос к вам. Говоря о гарантиях безопасности для Украины, кто и как с точки зрения Москвы должен будет обеспечивать новые возможные договоренности, учитывая негативный опыт Минских соглашений?
Опыт имеется не только в отношении Минских соглашений. Напомню, что в апреле 2022 года, через несколько недель после начала специальной военной операции, шли переговоры. Они начались в Белоруссии, затем продолжились в Стамбуле. Переговоры об урегулировании конфликта на основе устранения первопричин его возникновения. И, как хорошо известно, президент Путин не раз ссылался на эту ситуацию. В апреле украинская сторона предложила проект принципов на бумаге, документ с проектом принципов урегулирования, который был парафирован делегацией Украины и делегацией Российской Федерации. Там уже были основные принципы обеспечения безопасности на постконфликтный период, и речь шла о том, чтобы обеспечивать эту безопасность по-честному и коллективно. Прежде всего, путем создания группы стран-гарантов, которые входили бы страны, постоянные члены Совета Безопасности ООН, упоминалась Германия, упоминалась Турция, ну и список этих гарантов был бы открыт для присоединения любых желающих стран. Эти страны гарантировали бы безопасность Украины, по сути дела, в русле той логики, которая лежит в основе статьи 5 Вашингтонского договора НАТО, но при этом подчеркиваю, что Украина останется внеблоковым государством, не будет вступать в НАТО и в другие военные союзы, безъядерным государством и нейтральным государством. Кстати, вот эти компоненты, нейтралитет, безъядерный статус и внеблоковый статус, они были закреплены в 1990 году в Декларации о суверенитете, о независимости Украины. И именно эти принципы послужили основанием для того, чтобы Украина была признана в качестве независимого государства. Безъядерный статус, невступление в НАТО, нейтральный характер государства и внеблоковый, да, я уже это сказал. Поэтому, когда документ, одобренный, по сути дела, в Стамбуле, был подорван действиями тогдашнего британского премьера, как я понимаю, при поощрении других западных представителей, эта возможность была утрачена. Но принцип, который был заложен в предложениях Украины, мы считаем абсолютно естественным и актуальным сегодня. Принцип коллективного предоставления гарантий безопасности. И когда сейчас, вслед за саммитом России и США на Аляске, где был достигнут существенный прогресс в продвижении по пути определения контуров и конкретных параметров урегулирования, когда вслед за этим мероприятием европейские страны поехали вслед за господином Зеленским в Вашингтон, и там попытались продвигать свою повестку дня, которая нацелена на то, чтобы гарантии безопасности строились по логике изоляции России, по логике объединения западного мира с Украиной для того, чтобы продолжать агрессивную конфронтационную политику сдерживания Российской Федерации и, имея в виду, конечно, по-прежнему нанесение нам стратегического поражения, конечно, это не может вызывать у нас каких-либо чувств, кроме полного отторжения. Тем более, что украинский режим, его представители комментируют нынешнюю ситуацию весьма специфическим образом, прямо показывая, что они не заинтересованы в устойчивом, справедливом, долгосрочном урегулировании. И вот есть такой там господин Подоляк, который постоянно выступает от имени президента Зеленского, как они его называют, и он заявил буквально следующее, вот комментируя происходящее вокруг темы гарантий безопасности, что пока Украина такие гарантии получит и смириться с тем, что часть ее территории...
All right, that is the Foreign Minister of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, speaking at the joint briefing alongside the External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar. He's spoken on peace and spoken on terrorism also, saying that there's zero tolerance for terrorism. Russia, India agreed to fight against terrorism. Also speaking on regional issues, geopolitical issues. Also talking about how Indians have served in the Russian army. Many were released. The government should release the others as well. So that's, of course, one of the most important issues, viewers, when many of the Indians have been recruited for the war in Ukraine. And Dr. Jaishankar has also spoken about that, about the release of the remaining Indian soldiers there. Also talking about Russia supporting India's bilateral ties, and that there should be trade ties, deepening of trade ties. Very important point. Jaishankar has mentioned that ties should deepen, the trade ties across Eurasia. That, of course, is something that Washington, D.C. will be carefully listening to. And we have, meanwhile, Sergei Lavrov also speaking on that, on issues. And Lavrov saying that he is interested in joint energy production. An important point made by the Foreign Minister of Russia as well. And let's take a listen into what External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar had said.
It is a pleasure to be back in Moscow, and I thank you, Minister Lavrov, for your warm hospitality and the substantive discussions that we have just concluded. Our meeting allowed a comprehensive review of the entire gamut of India-Russia bilateral relations. We believe that the relations between India and Russia have been among the steadiest of the major relationships in the world after the Second World War. Geopolitical convergence, leadership contacts, and popular sentiment remain its key drivers. On trade and economic cooperation, I followed up with Minister Lavrov the proceedings of yesterday's meeting of the Intergovernmental Commission that I chaired with First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov. We reaffirmed our shared ambition to expand bilateral trade in a balanced and sustainable manner, including by increasing India's exports to Russia. This requires swiftly addressing non-tariff barriers and regulatory impediments, enhancing Indian exports to Russia and sectors like pharmaceuticals, agriculture, and textiles will certainly help to correct the current imbalance. Steps to ensure long-term supply of fertilizers was also taken up. Indian skilled workers, especially in IT, construction, and engineering, can address the labor needs in Russia and deepen collaboration. Sustaining energy cooperation through trade and investments is also important. We also spoke about connectivity initiatives, including the International North-South Transport Corridor, the Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor, and cooperation in the Northern Sea Route. These corridors promise to deepen economic linkages, reduce transit times, and expand trade access between across Eurasia and beyond. Our defense and military technical cooperation also remains robust. Russia supports India's Make in India goals, including joint production and technology transfer. The opening of 2 new Indian consulates in Kazan and Yekaterinburg need to be fast-tracked. That was also a subject of our conversation today. These consulates will further deepen our regional outreach and enhance trade and people-to-people ties. I took up the issue of Indians serving in the Russian army. While many have been released, there are still some pending cases with some missing persons. We hope that the Russian side would expeditiously resolve these matters. On global and multilateral cooperation, we reaffirmed our shared commitment to reform of global governance. We underlined the imperative to expand and energize the UN Security Council to reflect contemporary realities. Our collaboration in the G20, BRICS, and SCO remains deep-rooted and forward-looking. On regional issues, we discussed developments in Ukraine, West Asia, Middle East, Afghanistan. And I want to say that India's approach continues to emphasize dialogue and diplomacy as essential to resolving differences. On terrorism, we resolve to fight jointly against all forms and manifestations of terrorism. I conveyed India's strong resolve to adopt a zero-tolerance policy against terrorism and our sovereign right to defend our citizens against cross-border terrorism. I also invited the Minister to pay a visit to India to continue our dialogue. In conclusion, let me thank him and his colleagues for an open and productive exchange of views. We look forward to nurturing this relationship further in the very spirit that has underpinned it for decades. Thank you.
All right, viewers, we have a breaking news coming in. Before that, we'll get you more updates from across the country. This is a report we're bringing from New Delhi. Now, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta's residence has heightened the security following an attack, as the RPF personnel have been now deployed outside her residence as the police is on high alert. The attacker has been identified as Rajesh Kimji. He was arrested yesterday and investigation is underway. Here's more.
सीएम आवास में हुए सीएम पर हमले के बाद सीएम सिक्योरिटी को रिव्यू किया गया है। सीएम हाउस के अंदर सिक्योरिटी में कई बदलाव किए गए। तस्वीरें मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूं कि ये सीएम हाउस देख रहे हैं, जो कि सरकारी आवास है दिल्ली सीएम का। इसी जगह पर कल हमला हुआ सीएम के ऊपर, जिसके बाद गिरफ्तारी की गई। लेकिन अब सीएम सिक्योरिटी में कई बदलाव किए गए हैं। सीएम, दिल्ली की सीएम जिनको Z+ सिक्योरिटी है, लेकिन सीएम हाउस में जितने भी दिल्ली पुलिस के जवान तैनात हैं उनमें बदलाव किया गया। और सबसे बड़ी बात कि अब जब सुनवाई होगी तो सीएम का स्टाफ पहले जो याचिका करता है, जो अपनी परेशानी लेकर यहाँ पर पहुंच रहे हैं, उनको जांचेंगे, वेरीफाई करेंगे, उनके तमाम दस्तावेजों को चेक किया जाएगा और उसके बाद सीएम तक जो है वो पहुंचाया जाएगा। आप देखेंगे तमाम बैरिकेड सीएम हाउस के बाहर कर दिए गए हैं। सीआरपी की बस आप यहाँ पर खड़े हुए देख रहे हैं, जो कि जवान अभी अंदर पहुंचे हैं। तो कहीं ना कहीं अंदरूनी स्तर पर सीएम सिक्योरिटी में तो बदलाव किए गए, लेकिन सीएम हाउस को किस तरीके से प्रोटेक्ट किया जाए उसको लेकर सीआरपी की जो तैनाती है वो भी अब यहाँ पर कर दी गई है। और बस आप देख रहे हैं, इसी बस के जरिए जो तमाम जवान हैं वो अंदर पहुंचे हैं। हालांकि जन सुनवाई में बदलाव ये किया गया है कि सीएम का जो स्टाफ है वो शिकायतकर्ता को पहले वेरीफाई करेगा, डॉक्यूमेंट चेक करेगा और उसके बाद सीएम से ही मिलने की जो इजाजत है वो दी जाएगी। दूसरा सबसे बड़ा बदलाव ये किया गया कि अगर कोई भी जन सुनवाई होगी, किसी भी शख्स को सीएम के बेहद नजदीक जाने से रोका जाएगा। दूरी बनाकर ही अपनी बातचीत रखने की जो कवायद है वो की जाएगी। तीसरा बदलाव ये किया गया कि सीएम के एक लेफ्ट में और एक राइट में 2 महिला पीएसओ की तैनाती कर दी गई है, जो कि राउंड द क्लॉक चेक करते रहेंगे कि आखिरकार सीएम के आसपास लोगों की गतिविधि किस तरीके से है। दिल्ली में ऐसा पहला मामला हुआ जब सीएम आवास के अंदर ही सीएम के ऊपर हमला हुआ, जिसको लेकर गृह मंत्रालय ने भी दिल्ली पुलिस से डिटेल रिपोर्ट मांगी थी, जिसमें सवाल यही खड़े हो रहे थे कि आखिरकार सीएम सिक्योरिटी में चूक किस तरीके से हुई। और इसी को लेकर अब नए पैरामीटर सेट कर दिए गए हैं, जिसमें क्रम बाय क्रम सीएम सिक्योरिटी में बदलाव और क्रम बाय क्रम ही जो सीएम हाउस के अंदर लोग जाएंगे उनकी फ्रिस्किंग की जाएगी, उनकी चेकिंग की जाएगी, उनके डॉक्यूमेंट्स को वेरीफाई किया जाएगा, उनकी शिकायतों को पहले सीएम स्टाफ के लोग सुनेंगे और उसके बाद ही दिल्ली सीएम तक उनको पहुंचाया जाएगा।
सदन के ज्वाइंट कमेटी को रेफर किया है, इसका मैं सिर्फ इतना ही उल्लेख करूंगा। आजादी के बाद पहली बार ऐसा सरकार ने कदम उठाया जिसमें प्रधानमंत्री खुद को भी इस कैटेगरी में रखा कि अगर वो अरेस्ट हो जाते हैं, 30 दिन तक बेल नहीं मिलता है, तो ऑटोमेटिक उसको इस्तीफा दिया माना जाएगा। ये इतना बड़ा क्रांतिकारी फैसला और कदम उठाया गया है। कई पार्टी तो ऐसे अपने आप को बचाने के लिए कानून बनाते हैं, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने कहा कोई भी कानून से ऊपर नहीं हो सकता है, प्रधानमंत्री भी कानून से ऊपर नहीं हो सकता है। इसलिए अगर गलती किया है, कोर्ट से जमानत नहीं मिला है, तो फिर आपको कुर्सी छोड़ना होगा 30 दिन के अंदर में। अगर आप जेल जाते हैं, कोर्ट ने बेल दे दिया, तो फिर आपको इस्तीफा नहीं देना पड़ेगा। तो ऑपोजिशन पार्टी इस बिल के स्पिरिट को जबरदस्ती नहीं समझने का कोशिश किया या गलत समझ रहे हैं, गुमराह करने का कोशिश किया, जबकि बिल बहुत साफ और सरल बिल है कि करप्शन करोगे तो नहीं बचोगे। चाहे आप प्रधानमंत्री हो, मुख्यमंत्री हो, सेंट्रल मंत्री हो, स्टेट में मंत्री हो, करप्शन किया, जेल गया तो जेल से आप सरकार नहीं चला सकते हैं। इसके लिए देश भर में जोरदार स्वागत किया जा रहा है।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इट्स गुड टू सी यू ऑल। आप लोगों के सिर्फ सवाल सुने थे अभी तक, बट अब चेहरे भी दिख रहे हैं, तो अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों को देख के। इट इज़ डिफिकल्ट टू फॉलो लक्ष्मण इन स्पीच, यू नो, बट आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट। I would like to start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission. I would also like to, I see some faces here, the PIs, the researchers who have enabled the experiments for the Axiom 4 mission, and I would like to thank them for their contribution and their work for this mission. I would like to thank you guys for bringing this mission to the
This is Republic Jack Oliver's studio. Stay tuned for all the breaking news and updates. I am Tanisha Avasthi. Let's get started.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल बनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
The Agni 5 missile, recently tested, exhibited a flight path that deviated from the typical ballistic trajectory expected of such missiles.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। I choose a world where we care and we dare to love. I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics.
Living my best life.
Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता, उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
इट्स गुड टू सी यू ऑल। आप लोगों के सिर्फ सवाल सुने थे अभी तक, बट अब चेहरे भी दिख रहे हैं, तो अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों को देख के। इट इज़ डिफिकल्ट टू फॉलो लक्ष्मण इन स्पीच, यू नो, बट आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट। I would like to start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission. I would also like key message that I've had throughout the mission, while going up, while on orbit and while coming back. भारत आज भी अंतरिक्ष से सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Recalling his historic mission to International Space Station, Group Captain Shukla says, भारत अभी भी सारे जहां से अच्छा लगता है. India is the best in the world. Group Captain Shukla shares inspirational message to all those aspiring for the space, says never give up on your dreams.
संसद ने हमारे मध्यम वर्गीय परिवारों को, मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज को, जो एक बहुत बड़ा नशा समाज में फैल रहा था ऑनलाइन मनी गेमिंग का, उससे मुक्ति दिलाई है. मैं संसद के सभी सदस्यों को इसके लिए धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा.
Online gaming bill passed in Rajya Sabha amid ruckus by the opposition. After Republic Kannada exposed the Dharmastala hoax, Karnataka police arrests the hoax activist, fake activist Mahesh Thimmarodi. High-speed car runs over and kills an elderly man near Air Force Station in Mullanpur. Beer bottles found in the car, allegations of cover-up surface. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar meets Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov. Big focus on bilateral ties, talks on trade and energy. Republic TV smashes all records across time bands. Your channel is the most watched and most trusted. And he remains India's undisputed primetime king. Arnab Goswami debate buries landing channels, hits 92.8% record. Right, we have live inputs coming in from Tamil Nadu's Madurai, where the TVK is holding a big rally. TVK's Vijay holding a massive rally there in a show of strength ahead of the assembly elections in Tamil Nadu. So there you have the superstar and now a political leader, actor turned politician Vijay, who is going to debut in these elections as the battleground heats up. And this is a mega rally. It's all set to begin. He's on the stage right now. This is coming in from Madurai. And I'm told that my colleague Aishwarya is joining us live on the broadcast from the newsroom. Aishwarya, well, we saw celebrations had begun already. TVK's conference and now just ahead of Vijay's arrival. And we see that it's a huge turnout as thousands have flocked for TVK's rally.
Yes, Rakshita, this is one of the most blockbuster rallies of Vijay, who is the chief of Tamilgar Vetri Kazhagam. His party was launched on October 2024, and after that, this is one of the second most largest rally that he's conducting ahead of the Tamil Nadu elections in 2026. After declaring that he's going solo, this is one of his biggest rallies, statewide nation address that he's giving from Madurai. He's chosen Madurai as one of the most political bases because Madurai is considered as one of the biggest constituencies of Tamil Nadu. This is a second state-level conference live from Madurai, where he's about to address the public, and It is also said that he'll tell his party's views, party's position, political position, though he has made it clear that he's not going to align with either DMK or AIDMK or BJP, and is going to eye for the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister seat in 2026 by contesting solo. We can, by the visuals, we can actually see that scores of people, his followers, his fans, all have like reached Madurai to take a glimpse of the star who has now turned a massive politician. He's also been seen paying respects to one of the Ambedkar, Periyar, who are the idols of Tamil Nadu, people of Tamil Nadu. By this, he's also trying to portray his party's ideologies very clearly to the state of Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. There you have. He's on the stage. He has paid tributes to several leaders, including B.R. Ambedkar. And of course, we also saw there were posters of MGR as well. So, you know, Aishwarya, he's going there. Is his debut in politics, and we've seen that he's launched a statewide tour. You know, there is already a very interesting battle between the AIDMK, BJP, and of course the DMK. Now, Vijay turns out to be, and he has a huge mass appeal, right? He can actually become a disruptor, possibly a potential disruptor in Tamil Nadu politics, isn't it?
Yes, Rakshita, there's a potential that Vijay can change the political landscape of Tamil Nadu. Having said that, you know, his massive fan following is very well known across India, and especially he has a huge mass appeal among the youth, who can actually decide the fate of the politics in Tamil Nadu. Though there's a huge political fight between the decade-long parties such as ADMK and DMK, but Vijay entering the politics and not aligning with any parties is a big change and big thing to wait and see that what will happen in 2026 Tamil Nadu elections.
Absolutely, and he just hoisted his party flag, after paying floral tributes to the portraits of the ideological leaders. He's now hoisting his party flag, Aishwarya. And he's just coming from a victory in that flag dispute case, because there was a legal issue. There were civil cases since he launched the party flag in 2024 of the TVK. But now, of course, he has been given the permission now. That issue, we seem that he has now been given this go-ahead, and he has just hoisted that flag. Also is an important statement that he's making ahead of the address. Aishwarya.
Flags, and but later it was later resolved, and now he's hoisting the flag, where giving a message to the people of Tamil Nadu, and his entry, his course of people crawling around to support Vijay shows that he has his mass appeal, and and 2026 Tamil Nadu elections is something to look forward to.
Absolutely, viewers, we see visuals coming in from Madurai right now as we speak with Vijay, the actor turned politician. He invokes Annadura, he invokes MGR, paying floral tributes to several ideological leaders as well ahead of that address. It's a mega rally of the TVK, and Vijay is there. Thousands have flocked to this ground, and this is you can see that it's all set to begin. There is a huge turnout for Vijay, known as Talapati Vijay also. He's set to deliver a speech. All eyes, all ears will be on that speech in Madurai that he's going to make, as this is a second state conference of the TVK. It's a grand event at a sprawling 500-acre ground along the Madurai-Thoothukudi National Highway, and preparations have been in full swing. And remember, he's not even completed a year since his announcement to taking the political plunge, since he launched his political party. He is now going to unveil the political roadmap as far as his party is concerned. What roadmap does he see for Tamil Nadu? That is also going to be what his followers, his fans want to listen. And this is the stage that is now being set for the 2026 elections. Of course, there have been rallies by the DMK and other, and the AIDMK also, E. Palaniswami holding a plethora of rallies already. And now we have TVK and his president Vijay. It's a massive stage that has been set up for this rally. A special flag hoisting ceremony has just taken place just a few minutes ago to mark the official start of the conference with banners, party flags and decorations lining up the venue. You can see the huge turnout as he is greeted and welcomed there by his fans and followers, flanked by security. We see many of his followers there welcoming him, a rousing welcome for Vijay there. A sea of supporters turning out, and it's a mega rally. Expected that at least 1 lakh of fans, at least 1 to 1.5 lakh fans are turning up for this event. So he's all set to take the stage ahead of after the leaders of his party, members of the party speak, and this is of course a grand affair. If you see, it's his entry. He has a strong mass appeal. You can see that drone issue. Ashwarya, we see this drone footage on the left side of our screens. We can easily say these are, almost 1 lakh as it was expected of the supporters that have turned up for Vijay, and he has a very strong mass appeal, isn't it?
Yes, Rakshita. So this is not the first time as well. Vijay, wherever he goes, he always draws a huge crowd that comes to see him, take a glimpse of the actor because of his previous persona as one of the most mass actors from Tamil Nadu. There's much anticipation when he turned as a politician, because as you see, Tamil Nadu has a history of actors turned politician, right from MJR and Vijay Kant. So there are a lot of his followers, his party cadres, and there is even said that a lot of his fans have joined his party in support of their star. So being Madurai, one of the most film-based district, so I think there are a sea of supporters who have come to support Vijay, listen to his ideology, listen what he has to offer for the state of Tamil Nadu ahead of the 2026 elections.
It's very interesting how he's also, showcased images of Annadurai and MGR both. He's trying to send across this message also, trying to project that these are the icons that are not just that do not just belong to one single party. They are for the people of Tamil Nadu. So he is very, if we can use the word smartly, using these the reach of these icons of Tamil Nadu so as to start his political party and strike a chord with the people of Tamil Nadu.
Him actually honoring the photos of MGR, Annadurai and even Periyar, all of these people, he's stating what his ideologies and what his political roadmap of his party is. He's not aligning with any one particular ideology, but then his stance is for the people of Tamil Nadu. He's trying to convey that whatever his stance are is not one, but it's not aligned to any one political party. He is for the people of Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely. It's a political firestorm that Vijay is right now aiming for, and all eyes will be on how his party, of course, fares in these Tamil Nadu elections. But this Tamiliga Vetri Kadagam, the TVK's second state conference, we can see has a big, it's been received very well. At least you can see by the turnout, by the looks of it, by the optics, of course. That's a very strong game that's visible here. But yes, we do not know yet as to what his what is the policy that he believes in or he will be pitching. What are the ideologies that is of course also something that will be that evokes curiosity amongst the people of Tamil Nadu, among the voters, to be specific, in Tamil Nadu, Aishwarya. So that of course will be also interesting to see, and everybody is waiting for Vijay's Vijay, after he greeted the supporters. He will be speaking very, very soon, address the cadres during the party's second state conference at this open ground. So all eyes are on him. It's a 300-meter long ramp that is constructed in the middle of the venue where he walked up, and he was greeted with much fanfare. Hundreds of security personnel, bouncers, they've all been deployed on both sides to accompany him, to keep the cadres and other fans at bay. But he's one of the most celebrated actors of Tamil cinema. Aishwarya, if you could just help our viewers understand how his entire career has been. It's just been 8 months since he launched, I think, it's just been 8 months since he launched his party. But he's a very seasoned actor.
Yes, Rakshita. So he was a very popular, known face in Tamil Nadu. People used to fondly call him Talapati, which itself means the head. So after high speculation, he finally launched his party a year back in October. And then after that, though he was silent for quite some time, then he emerged to be in his first political address in Tamil Nadu. And after that, he was very active and very vocal against criticizing DMK. Even in this Ajit custodial death, he was very vocal about criticizing the DMK, the current government, visiting the victims' families. And after that, he was very vocal about several other political agendas in the Tamil Nadu. And then now he's addressing his second political conference, party's political conference in Madurai. So it is clear that he is very actively joined the political party and he's trying to create the same charm that he created with his films.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and we can clearly see this. This is the drone footage. The drone visual is actually showing that how many people have turned up, and the cadres, that includes the party cadres also. It's a massive, massive show of strength in Madurai by Vijay, viewers. As we see, it is the second state conference of TVK. Huge cutouts of DMK founder Annadurai, AIDMK founder MGR, also along with that of TVK's Vijay himself has been played on the facade of the stage at the venue, while he has said, he has maintained all throughout that he will not be aligning, he will not be in fact weaving any alliance as yet with the MK or the AIDMK. And this is of course a big boost for the cadres as we see this entire conference that has been now organized. The crowd is swelling at the TVK conference venue at Parapati in Madurai. Thousands of party cadres and fans have in fact thronged to Madurai from different parts of Tamil Nadu. And in fact, Aishwarya, I also read in some reports that there are fans from UAE, there are fans from other countries also that have come in to participate in this conference.
Absolutely, Rakshita. Vijay has, as I've said before, Vijay has a great mass appeal. He's been a hero of Tamil Nadu for a very long time, for several decades. And since he came into films at a very young age, and he's grown up to become one of the huge stars after Rajinikanth. Vijay is one of the most biggest stars in Tamil Nadu after Rajinikanth. So it is all his fans are extremely happy with his political entry and looking forward to some wonderful changes that their star could bring to the Tamil Nadu political life.
Absolutely, and in fact it officially just projects him as the chief ministerial face of TVK, set to formally position him as TVK's CM face here. Thank you so much, Aishwarya, for joining us. We'll keep a close eye on that. But right now, there is some breaking news coming in from Kerala. Now, the Kerala Youth Congress leader Rahul Mankuthatil has resigned after allegations surfaced of him allegedly harassing an actor. Actor Rini and George claim that he sent her obscene messages and continued to harass her despite warnings. Rini says that she had filed complaints against him at multiple places, but despite this, he continued to be rewarded with positions and honors within the Congress party. So Congress MLA is accused of harassment by actor Rini George, and in fact there are protests by the BJP that are being staged as he has resigned. Rahul is the leader of Kerala Congress and Kerala Youth Congress leader Rahul Mankuthatil resigned now after allegations against him by an actress called Rini George. Ashwin joins us live on the broadcast for more. Ashwin, massive protests now as BJP mounts pressure on the youth leader of the Congress party. He has also resigned.
Absolutely. What we are getting to hear from the very close Congress sources is that he was asked to put down his paper as the president of the Youth Congress, and at 1:30 p.m. today he tendered his resignation because there was so much pressure onto him. Although after the resignation he came out to the media stating that he resigned on his own free will, sources indicate that no, he has been forced to put down his resignation. Now there has been a slew of allegations against Rahul Mankuthatil which the leadership has been trying to curtail and understand for quite some time. In fact, this particular bite which actress Rini had given, she had used a word, don't care. Now this was a particular hook that which media understood that she was referring to Rahul Mankuthatil, because just few weeks ago a similar kind of allegations was levelled against him, to which he responded, Rahul Mankuthatil had responded saying he don't care. So this word was used by the actress to point out that this is the man she is talking about indirectly, and that is when the entire fire came upon him. So certainly the Congress certainly is embarrassed. They have taken action, although no police complaint has been filed. Rahul Mankuthatil on the other side has stated that he will go to the court and get himself clean, but he has resigned from the post of the president of the Youth Congress, and the opposition meanwhile is demanding that he is an MLA. If he has any moral obligation, he should resign from his post as an MLA. So certainly the entire issue is brewing over. It is certainly putting a lot of pressure on the Congress party.
Right, that's the big update we have right now, viewers. We will keep a close eye on that story. Thank you so much, Ashwin, in the meantime, for getting us details. Now, viewers, this is, of course, a huge allegation that has been made by actor and former journalist Rini George, accusing a young Congress political leader in Kerala of prolonged harassment for the last 3.5 years. She claims that he sent repeated obscene messages, even invited her to meet at a 5-star hotel. And my colleague, Ashwin, we just spoke to him, is now getting you this report to help us understand this entire matter.
On Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, Rini and George held a media interaction in Kochi, revealing that a youth leader from a prominent political party in Kerala subjected her through harassment through persistent inappropriate messages over the past few years. He even invited her to a 5-star hotel, which she declined. She added that her warning to report the behavior was met with disregard, stating, "Go and tell them, who cares?" In spite of raising the issue with senior party leaders, Rini claims the youth leaders continued to rise in prominence. She remained anonymous, citing concerns for her safety and lack of accountability and normalization of misconduct. Rini made it clear that she did not suffer any physical assault, but was compelled to speak out as she recollects that multiple of her friends mentioned the other woman had experienced similar harassment from the alleged Congress Neta that still remains silent. Her bold move has triggered political responses. The BJP has launched protests demanding a resignation of Rahul Mankuthatil, a youth Congress state president and MLA, even though Rini has not publicly named him.
We will take a decision immediately. Without delay, we will take an action immediately. It is not before the party. If somebody is sending any allegation, we will look into that. We will take it very seriously. We will take proper action, no doubt. No mercy will be there. No mercy. Whoever it is.
Due to the internal pressure and call for action, the All India Congress Committee has stepped in, with reports suggesting that they may direct Rahul, the Youth Congress President and Palakkad MLA, to temporarily step down from his role until the matter is investigated.
And it's time now for a quick break, viewers. But on the other side, we get you more stories that we are tracking for you. And one of the stories, of course, is the Dharmastala conspiracy case. After Republic Kanara's big expose on the Dharmastala hoax, Karnataka police has arrested the hoax activist Mahesh Thimarodi.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला
The Agni 5 missile, recently tested, exhibited a flight path that deviated from the typical ballistic trajectory expected of such missiles. Unlike the standard parabolic arc that characterizes most ballistic missile flights, the Agni 5's movement included a distinct zigzag pattern during its ascent, which is unusual for conventional ballistic trajectories. This deviation is not merely a visual anomaly, but a deliberate design choice, reflecting advancements in missile technology and strategic considerations. The zigzag pattern observed in the Agni 5's flight can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, it may be a result of the missile's guidance system making real-time corrections to its path. Modern ballistic missiles, especially those with intercontinental capabilities, are equipped with advanced
MDH की देगी मीरज
देगी मिर्च का तड़का अंग अंग फड़का
MDH की देगी मीरज केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात वाह मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरी राजा मसाला
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
It's good to see you all. आप लोगों के सिर्फ सवाल सुने थे अभी तक, बट अब चेहरे भी दिख रहे हैं, तो अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों को देख के. It is difficult to follow Lakshman in speech, but I will try my best. I would like to start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission. I would also like to, I see some faces here, the PIs, the researchers who have enabled the experiments for the key message that I've had throughout the mission while going up, while on orbit and while coming back, भारत आज भी अंतरिक्ष से सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
Recalling his historic mission to International Space Station, Group Captain Shukla says that India is the best in the world. Group Captain Shukla shares inspirational message to space aspirants, says never give up on your dreams.
संसद ने हमारे मध्यम वर्गीय परिवारों को, मिडिल क्लास फैमिलीज़ को, जो एक बहुत बड़ा नशा समाज में फैल रहा था ऑनलाइन मनी गेमिंग का, उससे मुक्ति दिलाई है। मैं संसद के सभी सदस्यों को इसके लिए धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा।
Online gaming bill passed in Rajya Sabha amid ruckus by the opposition. After Republic Kannada exposes Dharmastala hoax, Karnataka police arrests the hoax activist, the fake activist, Mahesh Thimarodi. High-speed car runs over and kills elderly man near Air Force Station in Mullanpur. Beer bottles found in car. Allegations of a cover-up now surface. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar meets Russian counterpart Lavrov. Big focus on bilateral ties. Republic TV smashes all records across time bands. Your channel is the most watched and the most trusted. And he remains India's undisputed primetime king. Arnab Goswami debate buries the landing channels, hits 92.8% record. Very good evening, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. We start with breaking news coming in on the Dharmastala story. We're closely tracking now. The Brahmavar police arrested Mahesh Thimarodi for questioning. This is the same man who had earlier posed as the whistleblower for this case. Now, interrogation is underway, and this has been underway for over 1.5 hours. He's being taken to the court after questioning. And incident under Brahmavar Taluk, Udupi district. Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi has been now arrested, and he's being grilled for 1.5 hours now. And these are the visuals coming in of the man in question. He's under lens now. Republic Kannada getting us those exclusive details. Mahesh Thimarodi has now been arrested by the Brahmavara police in Karnataka on the Dharmastala story. Abhishek joins us live on the broadcast. For more, Abhishek, tell us more. If you could pick up anything on what grounds he has been now questioned for 1.5 hours as the lens is on the so-called whistleblower.
Rakshita, Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi, who had been taken into the custody by the Brahmavara police station with respect to the derogatory remarks he had made against BL Santosh, and the complaint was filed by the BJP Mandal Adhyaksh in the last couple of days, after which an FIR was registered against Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi. And today morning at around 11:30, 50 to 60 policemen went to his residence in Udupi. At that point of time, the followers and the fans of Thimarodi didn't want the police to arrest him immediately, and also the police didn't have any warrant as such. At that point of time, Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi, along with Girish Mattananavar and another whistleblower in the case of Dharmastala, made sure that they went to the police station themselves in their own private car. After which there was a continued interrogation for more than 2 hours, and after which the police have officially taken the procedure of arrest of Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi at this hour. We are yet to receive much more responses and the official confirmation as to why Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi has been arrested. But if we speculate more than the FIR registered against Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi is also one of the conspirators against the defamation of Dharmastala, where the whistleblower claimed hundreds of bodies of women were buried around 1998 to 2014. Along with Mahesh Shetty Thimarodi, Girish Mattananavar and also MD Samir, who is a YouTuber, are also involved in the nexus, is what is claimed by the BJP MP who wrote a letter to the Union Home Minister. On the other part, we will also have to see on various other grounds This arrest is basically mainly made on the base where Mahesh Shetty Timorodi made defamatory or derogatory words against BL Santosh, who's RSS Pramukh. Will also be the whistleblower's case connected to the Mahesh Shetty Timorodi case is the point of question, which has to be answered by the police department as of now. We are waiting what the response of Mahesh Shetty Timorodi's advocates might be in the next couple of minutes. Rakshita.
Right. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for joining us with those details coming in. Viewers, in fact, we stay on with you. We will continue talking to you about this case as we're getting in live visuals now that his medical checkup is happening right now. So he's there for the medical checkup. After this, he will be taken to Brahmavara court. There have been, of course, comments made by Mahesh Shetty. He has been on the forefront also of okay, so I'm told that the medical checkup is still underway. If you could just give us a context, Abhishek, about Mahesh Timorodi and his entire this connection. In what connection is he being questioned, and what's exactly the role and the investigation in the Dharmastala conspiracy that has happened till now.
Well, if we start with Mahesh Shetty Timorodi coming to the limelight, it was in 2012 when Saujany's body was found in Dharmastala. At that point of time, there was a team which started Justice for Saujanya. A campaign was started, and that is when Mahesh Shetty Timorodi started alleging against the family of Dharmastala, stating that the family, then the members of the family who are the representative of Dharmastala administration are behind this murder and the rape. And since then, there is a Team A or Team B or probably two opposition sides with respect to Dharmasthala. And after which a whistleblower who appeared out of thin air stated that he had buried over hundreds of bodies of women from age 15 to 80 in and around Dharmasthala and Netravati in between 98 and 2014. And after marking 13 spots, the special investigation team constituted by the government couldn't find any such materialistic skeletal remains. However, in point 6 and point 11A, there were partial remains of skeleton found. But at that point of time, the special investigation team officers got to know that there might be a team which is operating behind the whistleblower, because the statement of the whistleblower changed every now and then. And after which, halfway through the investigation, the whistleblower also claimed that he had various other spots to show. He also mentions to the special investigation team that he has been guided and directed by a team who is behind the screen to mention the special investigation team various other news spots. And this is when the special investigation team had a clarity that there is a nexus which is being run behind the spots which have been shown to the special investigation team. After a sensitive interrogation, the indirect connection between Mahesh Shetty Timorodi, Girish Mattananavar, MD Samir and the whistleblower has come out to the limelight as of now. On the other hand, we have very clearly seen Girish Mattananavar, who was a former sub-inspector, has directly alleged against the family of Dharmasthala. On the other hand, MD Samir is the YouTuber who used the AI tools to create a 23-minute video against the family and the temple of Dharmasthala, and also started alleging against the Dharmasthala family, stating that many such rapes and murders have occurred in the last 2 decades. On the other hand, Mahesh Shetty Timorodi on the social media has used derogatory and defamatory words against Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Home Minister Dr. G. Parameshwara, and also B.L. Santosh, and also the BJP leaders. After which it was clear that a nexus is operating behind the defamation of Dharmasthala, and that is when Mahesh Shetty Timorodi was arrested in a case which was
yes,
based
Abhishek. Thank you so much in the meantime for joining us with those details. We'll talk to you on that story again. But right now we have some more updates coming in from what's happening in New Delhi. Viewers, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla held a meeting with the Prime Minister and other MPs and Union Ministers at the end of the monsoon session of the Parliament in Delhi, and that's the latest update we're getting in right now. We'll just try and connect with our reporters on that, more information on that. The Lok Sabha Speaker, as Om Birla has held a meeting with the Prime Minister and other MPs on at the end of this monsoon session. So Lok Sabha was adjourned, sine die, And then we saw Loks, and then Speaker Om Birla also was there. And now Parliament today had adjourned sine die amid opposition protests, and we've seen at least 12 bills being passed. It came to an end today, the monsoon session of the Parliament, and the Lok Sabha was sine die after weeks of disruptions over the opposition's demand for joint parliamentary committee probe into special revision of Bihar's electoral polls. And Speaker had also expressed concerns over the repeated use of placards and raising slogans, says that it amounts to breach of parliamentary decorum. Okay, we have the pictures of that meeting on your screens. Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh and Prime Minister, of course, there, and other leaders of the NDA, including Chirag Paswan. They're all present in this meeting as the monsoon session concludes. And viewers, we are showing and now we are getting to you the statement made by External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar in Moscow. Now, Jaishankar has pushed back hard against criticism of India's energy trade with Russia. Jaishankar makes it clear that India is not the biggest buyer of Russian oil. That is China, he says. He says that Europe buys more LNG and other countries have seen the bigger trade surge, and India has only acted to stabilize global markets. Jaishankar adds that India even buys more oil from the United States today, and he's frankly perplexed by the West's logic. So as frank as he can get, we've seen Dr. Jaishankar never mincing his words, and he's setting the record straight once again amid the tariff war, amid Donald Trump's tantrums, and the White House officials also continuing to blame India over the Russian war and for the Russian oil supply. Just take a listen into what Dr. Jaishankar said.
I don't want to comment on a person, but let me comment on the subject. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian oil, that is China. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian LNG. I'm not sure, but I think that is the European Union. We are not the country which has the biggest trade surge with Russia after 2022. I think there are some countries to the south. We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia. Incidentally, we also buy oil from America, and that amount has been increasing. So, quite honestly, we are very perplexed at the logic of the argument that you had referred to. Well, I don't want to comment on a person, but let me comment on the subject. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian oil, that is China. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian LNG. I'm not sure, but I think that is the European Union. We are not the country which has the biggest trade surge with Russia after 2022. I think there are some countries to the south. We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia. Incidentally, we also buy oil from America, and that amount has been increasing. So, quite honestly, we are very perplexed at the logic of the argument that you had referred.
All right, that was Dr. Jaishankar saying that India is not really the biggest buyer of Russian oil, and that it only acted to, when it increased the imports, it acted to stabilize the global markets. Remember, viewers, just a year ago, US had backed India's purchase of Russian oil as part of policy design. So that's what Jaishankar has highlighted, and also said it's China rather that in fact is the biggest importer of Russian oil, and also how Europe continues to take LNG from Russia. So we'll keep a close eye on the external affairs minister's visit to Moscow. Have some more breaking news coming in now. India has clarified its stance on Dalai Lama's reincarnation. The centre has clarified that it does not take any position on matters concerning beliefs and practices of faith and religion, including the issue of the Dalai Lama's reincarnation. The statement comes amid ongoing discussion and global attention surrounding the future spiritual succession of the Tibetan spiritual leader. All right, so India is now clarifying its stance on the Dalai Lama's incarnation. Remember, this is coming in after there was China had just a few weeks back. China said that India should not really. It should be, in fact, the CCP. It should be China. It should be Beijing that decides on the reincarnation. And India, of course, has maintained that it has maintained its distance, that it is not India's of India to decide. Of course, it is up to the Dalai Lama for this for the successor to be chosen. And Dalai Lama has already defied China, saying the successor will be chosen as per the Tibetan tradition. And China, meanwhile, says that the Dalai Lama cannot decide on reincarnation, and India has maintained neutrality all throughout. And India continues to say that India will not take any call on Dalai Lama's reincarnation. It is not for India to decide on matters of faith and religion. They are all beyond the government's purview. All right, viewers, now we shift our focus to other stories that are making news from across the country. This is Bharat in 2 minutes. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla hit out at the opposition over the disruption of the parliament proceedings, citing the fact that only 37 hours of business has been conducted amid all the ruckus caused by the opposition. Speaker Om Birla also warned that the protesting MPs will face penalties for the destruction of government property, while also urging them to maintain the sanctity of the parliament. ISRO Chief V. Narayanan, along with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and Union Minister Jitendra Singh, gave a press briefing earlier today. They discussed the success of the EXIM-4 mission, addressing the nation about ISRO's Gaganyaan mission as well, which is going to be India's first human space flight program and aims to send 3 Indian Air Force pilots into space by 2027 in an India-made aircraft.
For the 2 weeks on the ISS, the work that we had, the job that we had was we had to perform the experiments that were conceived, developed and realized by the Indian researchers, and also to perform STEM demonstrations and just capture photographs and videography to bring it back to you. So that was the primary job while we were up on the station.
The Astronaut and Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, after conducting the EXIM-4 mission, returning to India, met Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. His meeting with Rajnath comes days after he met Prime Minister Narendra Modi at his residence in Delhi. They also had discussions on the EXIM mission, his space research of 18 days on the ISS, as well as India's space future. In an intelligence operation with central agencies, the Amritsar police recovered a hand grenade and a .30 bore pistol and 10 live rounds from the arrested, who may have ties with the Babbar Khalsa International as well as Pakistan's ISI. The accused, identified as Malkeet Singh of Pandori, has been found to have direct links with Dharmastala, a close associate of Harvinder Rinder, who is a PKI operative, Babbar Khalsa International operative, that is, based in Pakistan and backed by the ISI. Now, another hit-and-run case has come to the fore, and this time from Mullanpur in Punjab. A 65-year-old man was crushed to death by a speeding car driven by college students. Beer bottles were found inside the vehicle, and police, in fact, have allegedly tried to hush up the case with a cash settlement. Here's more.
Another day, another hit-and-run case. This time from Mullapur in Punjab, 13 kilometers away from Chandigarh. A speeding car mowed down a 65-year-old man near the Air Force Station. The car was driven by a college student with 3 others also inside the car. All 4 teenagers are students of a management college in Sarangpur. Beer bottles have also been recovered from the vehicle. However, no FIR has been registered in this matter. Instead, police tried to bury the case with 9 lakh rupees settlement.
2 लेडीज थी और बंदे थे, 1-2 लड़के थे। उसके बाद वो सब शराब के नशे में थे, बियर शेयर पी रखे थे। उसमें बियर की गत्ता और पेटियां भी निकली, सारा चीज़ निकला। वो गाड़ी नहीं रोक रहे थे, फिर गाड़ी किसी तरीके से और बाकी यात्री ने रुकवाई है।
कि जब एक्सीडेंट हुआ उसके बाद वो रुके नहीं और आगे चले गए।
वहाँ पर वो आगे जाने के बाद 200-300 मीटर दूरी पे चले गए। फिर दूसरे यात्री ने रुकवाया और गाड़ी वाले ने उनको खड़ा करवा के रुकवाया। फिर वो उनको रुकवाने के बाद यहाँ लाश यहाँ पड़ी हुई थी, वो तुरंत खत्म हो गए।
These are the blood stains which has now dried up around 11:25 yesterday. The Jogsing was crossing the road from left side towards the right side when the speeding car, which was being driven by youths aged between 20 to 24, the speeding car crushed Jogsing immediately.
Another life lost on the road. Another family devastated as reckless driving continues to claim innocent lives.
All right, we have breaking news coming in, viewers. A suspected hostile drone was spotted deep inside the Indian territory in Ganjansu area of Jammu near the Indo-Pak international border just this afternoon. The sighting has prompted security forces to launch a massive search operations, with the police actively carrying out searches to locate the drone, which raised concerns due to its movement far from the border. So breaking news from Jammu. And that's the breaking news we are tracking. My colleague Gursimran Singh will be joining us from Jammu. In fact, these are the visuals he has got us from near the international border. The drone you can see in the skies that was spotted, a suspected hostile drone that was spotted. And we'll get you more information from Gursimran, who's joining us live. Gursimran, tell us more. What have we picked up as far as the investigation on this drone is concerned?
See, Rakshita, it's the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the border security force that is carrying out the intensified searches in the area. Right now, we are in the Ganjansu area, and I'll request Ashu to show you that from this very side, the drone was heading towards the left side, that is towards the ring road of Jammu, but it was seen by the locals. A video was made that we are showing you, and it was immediately informed to the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the Indian Army that in this general area and the BSF that in this general area there was a drone movement that was picked up by these locals, after which the Jammu and Kashmir police along with the BSF swung into the action. They have launched a large scale operation. Now what is being done, that this entire area, that is from the ring road in the Ganjansu to the international border, this aerial distance is somewhere close to 5 kilometers, and this entire area is being thoroughly searched by the Jammu and Kashmir police with the help of village defense group members as well as the BSF. This area, since is at 5 kilometers distance, the probability cannot be ruled out that this drone might have come for a dropping of the weapon consignment or any narcotics, and that is what is being searched by the security forces as we speak. The searches are underway in the forward area by the border security force as well, because every force want to ensure that there is no untoward incident, and the attempts from the adversary that is increasing with the each passing day, with Pakistan resorting to the infiltration of terrorist attempts to push in weapons and the narcotics into the Indian territory to fuel the terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. These attempts are regularly being heightened even after the Pakistani terror bases were decimated by the India during the Operation Sindoor. But Pakistan refuses to actually die down and put down its terror factory and trying to disrupt peace in Jammu and Kashmir. And as we speak, the searches are underway to find out this hostile drone that was seen deep inside the Indian territory.
Yeah, right. Right, Gursimran. Thanks so much for joining us with those details on that story. We will now shift our focus to what's been happening in the Lok Sabha, the Parliament's the last day of the monsoon session today. Lok Sabha adjourned sine die with Speaker Om Birla lamenting the conduct of the opposition members during this session. Now, he says it was time for introspection for all, as not much discussion could take place during this month-long session. The session, remember, commenced on the 21st of July, in which the entire opposition disrupted proceedings daily, seeking a discussion on the special intensive revision of the electoral rules in Bihar. After his valedictory address, Om Birla also adjourned the House sine die. Here's more.
हमें एक स्वस्थ परंपराओं का निर्माण करना चाहिए और हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि हम संसद के अंदर गरिमापूर्ण चर्चा करें। लेकिन मैं लगातार देख रहा हूं नियोजित तरीके से गतिरोध करना, नारेबाजी करना, तख्तियां दे रहना। मैं आपसे आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि ये देश का सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक संस्था है, हमें इससे बचने का प्रयास करना चाहिए और संसद के अंदर भी और संसद के परिसर में भी हमारी भाषा संयमित और मर्यादित होना चाहिए। सहमति और असहमति होना लोकतंत्र की स्वाभाविक प्रक्रिया है, किंतु हमारा सामूहिक प्रयास होना चाहिए कि हम सदन की गरिमा को, मर्यादा को और शालीनता को बनाए रखें। माननीय सदस्य, मैंने हर माननीय सदस्य को हमेशा पर्याप्त समय, पर्याप्त अवसर दिया है, लेकिन जिस तरीके का आपका आचरण है, देश आपके आचरण को, आपकी कार्यप्रणाली को देख रहा है। मैं फिर आपसे आग्रह करता हूं कि हमें प्रयास करना चाहिए कि हमारी स्वच्छ लोकतांत्रिक संस्था के अंदर अच्छी परंपराएं, अच्छी प्रॉपर्टियों को हम लागू करें और इसके लिए सामूहिक चिंतन भी करना चाहिए और सभी राजनीतिक दलों को आत्म मंथन भी करना चाहिए ताकि देश की लोकतांत्रिक संस्था की हम मर्यादा को बना रखें और यहाँ अपने आचरण व्यवहार से एक आदर्श स्थापित कर सकें। मैं इस सत्र की कार्रवाई में सहयोग हेतु माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का, सहयोगी साथियों का, लोकसभा सचिवालयों का, संबद्ध एजेंसियों का हार्दिक धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूं।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप, जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
I would love to be Lakshman to this Ram any day. Entire experience when we were there, I can just sum it up in Sat Chit Anandam. But also in the arts, whether it's space management, whether it's culture, whether it's space diplomacy, the future is space and future technology. Jai Hind to all my countrymen. Thank you for inviting us out here today. A few months from now, we're going to be having Diwali. And that's the time when Sri Ramji entered Ayodhya. Over here right now, to the Ram that is Shuks, if I can call myself Lakshman, it feels like there's Diwali here today when all our countrymen are here to receive us. But remember, even though I'm elder to Shuks, I would love to be Lakshman to this Ram any day. That's how professional he is. But remember, even Sri Ramji and Lakshman got a lot of help from the entire Vanar Sena. That is our fantastic ISRO team. Thank you, Hanuman and team. And also from the Devtas, the entire gang out here. Otherwise, it would not have been possible. Also, the entire experience when we were there, I can just sum it up in Sat Chit Anandam. What is Sat? Satyam. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Satyam, the truth.
Conspiracy by mystery group to defame Dharmastala. Paid off activists, political links and money trail in focus. Maoist media goes silent after Dharmastala hoax unmasked. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good evening, viewers. It's 5 p.m. and you're watching Republic TV. I'm Deepak Suresh Kumar. India has given its verdict and Arnab Goswami is the undisputed super primetime king with 92.8% of the primetime share. We'll get you all that and much more after a quick check on the headlines. After Republic Kannada exposed Dharmastala hoax, focus on paid activists and YouTubers behind hoax.
We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia.
EAM Jaishankar holds bilaterals with Russian counterparts, says India-Russia ties are the steadiest.
Key message that I've had throughout the mission, while going up, while on orbit and while coming back, भारत आज भी अंतरिक्ष से सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Recalling his historic mission to International Space Station, Shuk says India is the best in the world. TVK chief Vijay holds massive rally in Madurai. Sea of supporters gather in a mega show of strength. Republic TV smashes all records across time bands. Your channel is the most watched and most trusted. And he remains India's undisputed primetime king. Arnab Goswami debate buries landing channels, hits 92.8% record. Viewers, we have some big breaking news coming in, some fast-paced developments in the Dharmastala hoax, which Republic TV has exposed now. As we speak, the masked man is being questioned by the SIT chief himself. Arnab Goswami is currently grilling the masked man, and he's being questioned by the special investigation team. Arnab Goswami is also there. Fast-paced developments after Republic Kannada exposed the Dharmastala hoax. And as we speak, viewers, the heat is on. The YouTubers, the paid activists over there, false propaganda, and also masked man, on the other hand, is being questioned. And what we understand is that the SIT chief, Arnab Goswami, has visited Beltangdi SIT office, and soon after his arrival, the complainant, the masked man, also appeared for inquiry. Masked man informant has arrived at the SIT office. He's being questioned and he is accompanied by his lawyers. The masked man is currently being grilled on the hidden hands. We also have Abhishek joining us live. Abhishek, as we speak, Abhishek, now the masked man is being questioned by the SIT in Beltangdi. Tell us more details tumbling out.
Deepak, with respect to the masked man being questioned by the special investigation team's head, Pranav Mohanty in Beltangdi police station, it was believed there is another special investigation team office within the jurisdiction of Beltangdi police station itself. The masked man who had claimed that 13 spots would be consisting of various other skeletal remains of people found out to be a fake allegation, but only at point number 6 and point number 11, only partial remains of skeletons were found, and after which he also showed at least 6 more places where he was sure that there would be skeletal remains, after which he was taken into consideration to get more interrogation done. This point of time, he mentions that there is a team being operating him in the last couple of days. At this point of time, the masked man is being questioned and interrogated by the chief of the special investigation team for the Dharmastala case itself. We are awaiting any information from the SIT sources as of now, but however, with respect to the developments and the connectivity with the developments, if we look at this in a cleaner aspect or a sensitive aspect, Mahesh Shetty Timorodi has been taken into custody by the Brahmavara police station with respect to another case which is ongoing. On the other hand, we've also seen MD Samir, who's also stepping away from the legal procedures by stating that he will be attending the investigation soon. And also, we shouldn't forget, MD Samir owns a YouTube channel which spoke directly about Dharmastala temple, the family which runs the Dharmastala temple, even without taking their name. And also, we have been told that Girish Mattannanavar is also on the way, or probably have already started to the procedure to take the anticipatory bail, because he also feels that he might be arrested by the special investigation team.
Abhishek, stay on with me. We have more breaking news coming in. Samir MD, the YouTuber who put out that first video on Dharmastala mass burial allegation and that case, is now gone missing. Because Samir, his house in Bengaluru was visited by the police, and YouTuber Samir was not there at his residence. He was the first one to allegedly spread the Dharmastala hoax. The questions now arise, has anti-Dharmastala YouTuber gone missing? As per latest input, Samir has been granted anticipatory bail. And this after 15 days time was also given to him. Abhishek, you know, Samir MD, he was that YouTuber. The first video on Dharmastala hoax was put out by Samir MD. He took the help of AI. He created a story, a narrative, you know, to malign the holy shrine, and now the heat is mounting, the news is tightening, and Samir MD is nowhere to be seen.
Deepak, Samir MD stayed with his mother in Bengaluru's Bannerghatta road, and today morning the Dharmasthala or the Beltangdi police tried to visit his location. At that point of time, no one from his house reciprocated to the police demands, or no one opened the doors. Actually, when questioned the neighbors stated that Samir was living with his mother for the last couple of years, and it is mentioned that Samir wasn't seen in Bengaluru for the last week. So indirectly, it means that the police had given notice for appearance in Beltangdi police station and the Dharmasthala police station. At that point of time, Samir also had replied to the Dharmasthala police department police station stating that due to the security reasons, I will not be able to come to the Dharmasthala police station. If at all the security arrangements can be made, he will be probably visiting the police station. And also he demanded that a video conference be done for the preliminary investigation or the interrogation. On the other hand, the police who had gone to Bengaluru's residence of Samir had to return empty-handed, because he had already applied for the anticipatory bail in the morning, or probably in the last couple of days. And now, just a couple of minutes ago, he has been granted the anticipatory bail, so which leaves no other choice for the Dharmasthala police other than to leave from Bangalore towards the Dharmasthala police station. This point of time, Samir also has a legal advisor based on the letter which has been written by Samir to the Dharmasthala police station. It is very clear that he has used the mentions of the sections which is very valid and which is filled with much more clarity. It means that there is another advocate who has been suggesting Samir to take anticipatory bail since when the issue started. We shouldn't forget, Deepak, Samir is the person who owns a YouTube channel named Dhuta, which had a 23-minute used by AI. It was created by AI. The video mentions that an influential family of Dharmasthala has killed over hundreds of people and have buried them all along Dharmasthala and river bank bank of Netravati. And this is the reason as to why the entire Dharmastala came into limelight with a defamed look all of a sudden. And also we shouldn't forget the people who didn't want to question the sanity or the credibility of the video by Samir, because the story which was built by the AI was so clear and the narration was so clear that any layman who would watch that video would directly believe.
That's right,
that the
Abhishek.
facts
It was a
told
very,
by
very
Samir
compelling narrative that was spun by Samir MD and the other paid activists, and now the lens is on them. They are on the radar and heat is mounting on them. But thank you, Abhishek, for joining us with those details. And also, viewers, this is our 8 p.m. debate. Our editor-in-chief, Arnab Goswami, will get you all the details about Dharmastala hoax and the crackdown that follows. But it's time for us to shift our focus because yesterday, Delhi Chief Minister Rekha was attacked by this individual at her residence during a public gathering. And now, the Delhi top cop who took charge on July 31st has been sacked. Delhi Police Commissioner SBK Singh has been removed from his post. Remember, he had just taken charge on 31st of July. The swift action comes after a major security lapse. The accused, the attacker, was seen loitering around, doing a recce of the Chief Minister's house, also speaking to unknown individuals on the phone for a very, very long time while he was outside the Delhi Chief Minister's residence cum office. And the very next day, as he entered the public gathering at the Delhi Chief Minister's office, he attacked her. And now, a day after that, there is serious rejig in the top cop's position. We have Akhil joining us live from the national capital. Akhil, the Delhi Police Commissioner has now been sacked owing to the security lapse, a major one, because the Delhi Chief Minister was attacked.
Oh, that's right, Deepak. If you see what we have seen, that a day ago, this unfortunate incident took place in which what we have seen that a Delhi incumbent Chief Minister, Ms. Rekha Gupta, was badly hurt and she was injured after an attack which took place at her residence, at her official bungalow at Civil Lines. And after that, what we have seen that Delhi Police Commissioner has been sacked. SBK Singh was recently got appointed. After that, what we have seen that he was appointed when the previous Commissioner Sanjay Arora has vacated his seat after his retirement. And after that, what we have seen that on 31st itself, 31st of July, when the announcement was made that SBK Singh is going to be the next Delhi Police Commissioner. After that, what we have seen that at around 4 p.m., SBK Singh took charge as the Delhi Police Commissioner, and within 21 days, what we are seeing that after this very incident in which what we have seen that there was an attack on Delhi Chief Minister Ms. Rekha Gupta at her official bungalow at Civil Lines. After that, what we have seen that SBK Singh has been sacked by the government, and right now Satish Gulcha has been appointed as the new Commissioner of Delhi Police. Satish Gulcha's name was very known to everyone in the bureaucracy circle, and he's known for his diverse skill set and a strong grasp of the headquarters operation as well. And earlier, if you see Deepak, what we have been seeing that when there were 3 to 4 front runners that who is going to be the next Delhi Police Commissioner, and in that what we have been seeing that Satish Gulcha's name was at the very forefront, and he was heading the prison cells, DG as well. So right now what has happened that he has been promoted as the Commissioner of the Delhi Police.
Right, Akhil, thank you for joining me with those details. It's time for us to shift our focus on another shocking incident coming in from the national capital itself, a triple murder from Maidan Gadi in New Delhi, where locals claim that a youth has murdered his own family members. Here's the report.
A tragic incident has come to light from Maidan Gadi in the national capital. 3 bodies of people of a family were found dead at the residence, with police allegedly claiming that the youth killed his parents and sibling. The deceased have been identified as Prem Singh, his wife Rajni, and their elder son Ritik. The local authorities have initiated a search for the 4th member, Siddharth, who has been absconding since the murder. The accused is said to be suffering from a psychiatric disorder and was undergoing treatment for the same. It has also emerged that he had disclosed to someone that he had murdered his family and he would not live here anymore. The local authorities have ordered a probe and investigations are currently underway.
Viewers, ahead of the much anticipated Gaganyaan mission, Shubhanshu Shukla, India's space hero, responded exclusively to Republic's question on how Indian ideas are perceived across the world. And he said that Indian ideas are very, very well thought of and that the country is moving progressively in the arena of space technology. Here's how Shukla responded to Gopi's question. But before we play that conversation out, it was just a couple of hours back when Shubhanshu Shukla and ISRO, along with the Union Minister, addressed a joint press conference jotting the details of India's upcoming Gaganyaan mission, which is a very, very anticipated mission. After the International Space Station, after that historic mission, India is now taking a giant leap out of the atmosphere to space, and this time to put an astronaut there. And let's now listen in to Shubhanshu Shukla answering Republic's question.
I'm Gopi from Republic TV. Glad to know that we are becoming Atmanirbhar, as Dr. Singh was mentioning, with respect to scientific tools as well as equipments. But this is a question for the two astronauts. You would have interacted with astronauts from across the globe. I just want to understand how are our indigenous astronomical ideas looked at by the astronauts who do not belong to India but from across the world. Yeah.
What do you mean when you say indigenous astronomical ideas?
The ideas which emerge from India, how are these ideas looked at by the astronauts from across the globe?
Okay, I think that's a great question, but it's a huge answer, because when you say the ideas that have originated, it spans the history of our culture and country, and now even recent times of what we are doing. But what I can definitely tell you is that everybody globally looks at us right now with a lot of respect and support. I've traveled a lot of places, and people were so excited about the missions that we have planned, the missions that we have already executed, and what we are going to do. Everybody was excited about Gaganyaan mission, and they were, they are asking when is it that you're going to send astronauts up. It is not a small feat. It is a extremely complex job. Only 3 nations have done it, so we would become the 4th if we do it, and we will do it in some time. So I think there is a lot of respect in what India and ISRO have been able to achieve in terms of space exploration, and that is everywhere the same. There was no aberration or no odd person out who did not believe in this. And my crewmates actually made me sign and said that whenever the launch happens, you need to invite us, and after that we need to travel in your vehicle, in Gaganyaan. So I think that is the kind of excitement and respect that they have for us as far as space exploration is concerned.
So as far as indigenous is concerned, I agree, and like what Shuk said, they're really proud of what we are doing. Also, it's very incumbent that we know our own Sanskriti. Surya Siddhantam was from this land only. Actually, it's not that we didn't go to space. We just took a sabbatical so the rest of the world could catch up. And now we are just, once they have caught up, we are also going back there. Remember, all our Puranas starts with the location of the stars, so that you can date, because what is the universal time? The universal time is the position of the stars. They told what the stars are so that you can date your scriptures. Thereafter, they said the different things. The alignment of the different temples, right from Tanjavur to Chidambaram to Kashi, all this were astronomical data. The precision of 26,500 which takes place in the earth. Our Jyotish is based on that, and that's why our Jyotish is astronomically and scientifically precise. So all this, I had more time to do on this and talk to them, and they really appreciated it. And this is something which we need to promote more. And it's all of you who need to do that. That we are not going to space now. We let the others catch up, and we were always there. Remember, the first Panchabhuta was Akasha. Okay, thank you.
Viewers, moving on to some defense tech. The Scalp, also known as Storm Shadow, is a long-range air-launched cruise missile developed by MBDA, a European defense consortium involving France, the United Kingdom and Italy. With a range exceeding 250 kilometers, terrain-hugging flight and a dual-charge warhead. Scalp is designed to penetrate hardened targets like bunkers and command centers with surgical precision. Tejas, while agile and modern, lacks the standoff punch needed for strategic missions, but Scalp fills that gap, transforming Tejas from a tactical platform into a strategic asset. With France restarting Scalp production in 2025 after a 15-year pause, India has a rare window to acquire a proven system that aligns with its evolving doctrine of precision, deterrence, and also reach. Here's why the IAF urgently wants Scalp missiles on Tejas.
To avoid sending jets deep into hostile airspace, India is choosing missiles that can do the job from a safe distance, and on the top of the list come Scalp, also known as Storm Shadow. It is a subsonic cruise missile developed by MBDA and used by several NATO countries. It's designed to destroy hardened targets like bunkers, air bases, and command centers from a safe distance. For India, this missile fills a critical gap in its strike capabilities, especially in the context of growing threats from both Pakistan and China. The missile's range exceeds 250 kilometers, allowing Indian aircraft to launch it from well outside enemy air defense zones. This is important because both adversaries have invested heavily in surface-to-air missile systems and radar networks. Scalp's low observable design and terrain-following flight profile make it difficult to detect and intercept. It flies close to the ground, hugging the terrain, and uses a combination of GPS, inertial navigation, and terrain mapping, TERPROM, to reach its target with high accuracy. Once it arrives, its dual-charge warhead penetrates the structure and then explodes inside, maximizing damage. Currently, Scalp is deployed only on India's Rafale jets. These are powerful platforms but limited in number. India is now exploring the possibility of integrating Scalp with its Tejas Mk-1A and Mk-2 fighters. These jets are domestically produced, more affordable, and expected to form the backbone of the Indian Air Force in the coming years. If Scalp can be successfully integrated with Tejas, India would gain a much larger fleet of aircraft capable of deep strike missions. This would significantly enhance its deterrence posture and operational flexibility. The interest in Scalp also reflects a shift in India's military doctrine. Instead of relying solely on ballistic missiles or risky cross-border operations, India is building a layered strike capability. This includes standoff weapons like Scalp, precision-guided munitions, and stealth platforms. The goal is to respond to threats quickly and effectively without escalating into full-scale war. Scalp allows India to hit strategic targets like enemy air bases, missile storage sites, and command centers without crossing the line of control or the international border. This makes it a valuable tool for limited, high-impact operations. There's also a technological dimension to India's interest in Scalp. Scalp is a sophisticated missile with advanced guidance systems and programmable mission planning. It represents the kind of capability India wants to master either through joint development or future indigenous efforts. Learning from Scalp's design and performance could help India develop its own next-generation cruise missiles, reducing dependence on foreign suppliers and strengthening its defense industry. China's growing missile arsenal and Pakistan's expanding air defense network have made it clear that India needs smarter, stealthier, and longer-range weapons. Scalp is a direct response to that challenge. It gives India the ability to strike first, strike deep, and strike precisely without crossing red lines or inviting retaliation. In today's strategic environment, that kind of capability isn't just useful, it's essential.
And with that, viewers, it's time for us to slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with two crucial stories. One coming in straight from Moscow because External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has held bilaterals with Russian counterpart, and he says India-Russia ties are steadiest. Along with that, TVK chief Ilayya Thalapathy Vijay holds massive rally in Madurai. CF supporters gathered in a mega show of strength ahead of Tamil Nadu polls. Stay tuned.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। I choose a world where we care and we dare to love. I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics.
Living my best life.
Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
The Agni 5 missile, recently tested, exhibited a flight path that deviated from the typical ballistic trajectory expected of such missiles. Unlike the standard parabolic arc that characterizes most ballistic missile flights, the Agni 5's movement included a distinct zigzag pattern during its ascent, which is unusual for conventional ballistic trajectories. This deviation is not merely a visual anomaly, but a deliberate design choice, reflecting advancements in missile technology and strategic considerations. The zigzag pattern observed in the Agni 5's flight can be attributed.
As India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
इट्स गुड टू सी यू ऑल। आप लोगों के सिर्फ सवाल सुने थे अभी तक, बट अब चेहरे भी दिख रहे हैं, तो अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों को देख के। इट इज़ डिफिकल्ट टू फॉलो लक्ष्मण इन स्पीच, यू नो, बट आई विल ट्राई माई बेस्ट। I would like to start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission. I would also like to, I see some faces here, the PIs, the researchers who have enabled the experiments for the Axiom 4 mission. And I would like to thank them for their contribution and their work for this mission. I would like to thank you guys for bringing this mission to the population of this country, to the common man, and making it accessible by everyone to view. And in the end, I would like to thank each and every citizen of this country who behaved in a way that they actually owned this mission. I really felt that this was a mission for this entire nation. So with this, I have limited time to share my experience of this past 1 year. I will try my best to cover the salient aspects, and thereafter we can follow up in the question and answers.
India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m. Conspiracy by mystery group to defame Dharmastala. Paid off activists, political links and money trail in focus. Maoist media goes silent after Dharmastala hoax unmasked. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
After Republic Kannada exposes Dharmastala hoax, focus on paid activists and YouTubers behind hoax.
We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia.
External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar holds bilateral talks with Russian counterpart, says India-Russia ties are the steadiest.
Key message that I've had throughout the mission, while going up, while on orbit and while coming back, भारत आज भी अंतरिक्ष से सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Recalling his historic mission to International Space Station, Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla says India is the best in the world. TVK Chief Vijay holds a massive rally in Madurai. Sea of supporters gather in mega show of strength. Republic TV smashes all records across time bands. Your channel is the most watched and most trusted. And he remains India's undisputed primetime king. Arnab Goswami debate buries landing channels, hits 92.8% record. Well, in fact, we're starting the edition with some breaking news now coming in. This is the statement that has been made by the External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jai Shankar, where he has once again pushed back hard against the criticism of India's energy trade with Russia. He's made it clear India is not the biggest buyer of Russian oil, but that is China. He says Europe buys more LNG, other countries have seen bigger trade surge, and India has only acted to stabilize global markets. Dr. S. Jaishankar added that India even buys more oil from the United States today, and he is frankly perplexed by the logic that has been peddled by the West. This comes after additional tariff was imposed by the United States of America on the count that India was largely relying on imports coming in from Russia. And in fact, an accusation that has been leveled by the United States of America that it is India that has been fueling the war between Russia and Ukraine by buying oil. In fact, multiple times you've had several ministers, Indian ministers, once again making it very clear that it is the European Union which is largely dependent on refined oil really coming in from Russia. And in fact, there are several items that have actually been bought from Russia by the European Union. As far as direct buyer of the oil is concerned, it happens to be none other than China, against whom, remember, the tariffs weren't imposed. There is a pause that has been created by the Trump administration. Let's listen in to what Dr. S. Jaishankar had to say.
Well, I don't want to comment on a person, but let me comment on the subject. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian oil, that is China. We are not the biggest purchasers of Russian LNG. I'm not sure, but I think that is the European Union. We are not the country which has the biggest trade surge with Russia after 2022. I think there are some countries to the south. We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia. Incidentally, we also buy oil from America, and that amount has been increasing. So, quite honestly, we are very perplexed at the logic of the argument that you had referred to.
Well, in fact, this comes just a day after when Russian diplomat here at the national capital had said that if India finds a market, and that market would essentially be in Russia, because there has been an attempt that has been made by the West to try and cripple the Indian market. Joining me right now is my colleague Chandrakala. Chandrakala, with regards to the offer that has been made by the Russians and this statement coming in from the External Affairs Minister, what is it that the Russians are essentially proposing at this stage?
Well, absolutely. This is not the first time where External Affairs Minister has defended India buying Russian oil. Of course, this is one such statement been made by Jaishankar right at the moment where the tariff is, where the U.S. President has imposed tariff on India, and this comes right after the Russian envoy has made clear that the trade between India and Russia would depend as far as the Russian the oil is concerned. Of course, India is the second largest partner when it comes to buying Russian oil, and of course Russia has made it clear that the Russian market is open for Indian goods, if not US. So this is a very huge statement. Of course, now Jaishankar has made it clear that India is not the largest buyer of Russian oil, and Russia has said that has made it clear that 5% discount would be given on Russian oil as far as India buying Russian oil is concerned. So yes, this continues. The trade relation between India and US as far as buying Russian oil continues, and this will not be affected by Trump's tariff threat. And now External Affairs Minister has come out with this particular statement that we are a country where the Americans have said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy market. This has been reiterated once earlier as well by Indian side. So yes, this is a very, very crucial statement being put out by Jaishankar, slamming the West that of course that India is not the first, is not the only country, is not the largest buyer of the Russian oil. It's China, and of course Europe continues to buy LNG from Russia. So yes, he has made it absolutely clear that the trade relationship as far as buying Russian oil continues between India and Russia. And Russia has also made it clear that the ties will deepen further over time.
Well, thank you very much, Chandrakala, for getting us that perspective from the Russians' side. In fact, let me also go across to Ambassador Deepak Vora. Ambassador Vora, as my colleague Chandrakala, who's been in touch with the Russian diplomats, and they have been very clear this time that if at all India needs a market right now, and that market can be Russia, it can be expanded. That messaging, how do you think will be taken by the United States of America?
Yes. Thank you very much. Always a privilege and a pleasure to be on your channel. You ask very searching questions. I just heard the brilliant analysis by your colleague. Let me put it to you like this. When I was posted in the United States in the mid-'80s, we used to say the Americans practice checklist diplomacy. Oh, it's Monday morning, we've got to fix this guy. Tuesday evening, we'll invade that place. Wednesday, we'll impose sanctions on them. That was checklist. You check off what you plan to do. With Donald Trump, it's instant diplomacy. he doesn't really think, or he doesn't follow Chanakya Niti, which prescribes that before you take decisions, it has to be based on the intellect as well as your emotion. Only the emotions are not enough. He believes in instant diplomacy, instant decision making, and he regrets it. What he has done, sir, this is Robert Merton's law of unintended consequences. He took some actions that he thought would punish Russia, although he's making up with Russia and he knows that he can't do without Russia. He thought he would embarrass them, he would put them down. Then he got all his European characters to come together and say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. They're unable to do anything. In fact, if at all, trade between the United States and Russia has actually been going up ever since the Ukraine war started. So this is pure hypocrisy. He's trying to play the game of being the leader of the most powerful country in the world, which he is. But America used to be an idea, an ideal that was admired by all the people of the planet. Not anymore. So the next guy who comes is going to make, instead of MAGA, he'll have MABA, make America better again. So what he has done, sir, in terms of Robert Merton's law, is that he stands exposed. There are unintended consequences. We used to have a thing called the Quad. I don't know if it's still active. The basic idea was to clobber the Chinese, whatever we might say in terms of justification. Subsequently, he's pushing India, Russia, and China into an economic triad where we are saying, listen, he's trying to weaponize trade. Let's see what kind of defense we can build by combining trade, increasing trade between the three of us. So the Russian thing about buy more oil from us, we'll give you a discount. We're also buying oil from the United States, as my minister said, which is a great thing. We are diversifying our sources. We've done this all the time. The time we used to buy from Iran and from Iraq and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. And we didn't buy a drop of oil from the Soviet Union or from Russia before the Ukraine war. We started it now because we're getting a very good price. Oil is the biggest item on my import bill. So if we are buying it, we look for the best deal. Trump should understand this, sir. He's a deal maker. He's always talking of deal, deal, deal. He's a transactional fellow. He should understand that India will look for the best deal for itself.
Well, thank you very much, Ambassador Vora, for putting this into perspective, as they say that it is all about deals currently under the Trump administration. Well, in fact, tracking the biggest story of the day, the masked man, who you remember most networks essentially relied upon as far as the so-called Dharmastala truth is concerned. That same very masked man is now being questioned by the special investigation team. In fact, fast-paced developments are taking place after a sister network, Republic Kannada, exposed the Dharmastala hoax. It also turns out that certain YouTubers and certain media platforms were largely responsible for peddling a particular narrative as far as Dharmastala is concerned. Was this an attempt to try and divert attention? Was it to basically defame Dharmastala? What perhaps is the main reason? Let me also go across to my colleague Abhishek, who's joining us on this broadcast. Abhishek, as far as the investigation goes, it is, after all, a full-fledged investigation that was done. Exhumation was done. Everything possible that was done based on certain allegations made by a masked man. Now it seems that this is a different story altogether.
Shavan, the whistleblower who appeared out of thin air claimed that there are over hundreds of bodies in and around Dharmastala and river Netravati, after which the state government formed the special investigation team based on the whistleblower's claim, and after which point number 6 and 11A were the two places where partial skeletal remains of two persons were found, after which he also mentioned to the SIT that he would show many more places like that, and after which 6 more places had been identified and where no evidence of such a claim was found, after which we have also seen the Chief of Special Investigation Team, Pranav Mohanty, is in the Beltangdi Special Investigation Team's office today to question the whistleblower based on the rumor and the information that another team is operating behind the whistleblower and the masked man or the masked man. This point of time, the whistleblower or the masked man had mentioned that a team has been directing him to what statement had to be made in front of the SIT on what route had the SIT planned to take it further. It is also believed that 3 persons, namely Girish Mattananavar, MD Samir and Mahesh Shetty Timurodi are the people who are behind this nexus. And also at this point of time, we shouldn't forget the BJP MP Kota Srinivas Pujari had written a letter to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah to to inform or to direct the Enforcement Directorate to initiate an investigation with respect to the Dharmastala allegation, because he believes that a nexus is being run behind the screen and a huge amount of finance is being pushed through various other streams to defame Dharmastala. And at this point of time, we've also heard Dr. Virendra Hegde speak to one of the agencies stating that he is open to the investigation because he wants the truth to unearth even right now or later. On the other hand, we've also seen people who are standing towards Dharmastala to support Dharmastala because they very clearly believe that this is a defamation against Dharmastala to reduce the beliefs of Hindus in the state of Karnataka. On the other hand, we've also, in the assembly of Karnataka government, we've seen various other MLAs belonging to various other parties supporting Dharmastala. They want the truth behind the masked man.
Abhishek, I'm sorry to interrupt you because there is some more development now taking place and I just want you to bring you back with regards to another input coming in. It turns out that there were other activists who were also operating here, which could be hoax activists. Now, police, it turns out, is unable to find the YouTuber Samir at his residence. YouTuber Samir was the first to spread the news about Dharmasthala. The questions that are now coming up is that whether at all there was some sort of an agenda that was being fueled by someone. Was there any organization that was actually behind this? It now turns out that the YouTuber that you see on your screens, Samir, is not present at his residence. In fact, he has also been granted anticipatory bail. Let me go across to Abhishek. Abhishek, as far as the anticipatory bail goes, what were the grounds on which the bail was actually granted, number one? Number two, with regards to the questioning that the SIT wants to do, what is it that they have found prima facie based on which the questioning is going to take place?
Shravan, with respect to MD Samir being unavailable to the police, it is very clear that he had applied for the anticipatory bail as soon as the FIR were registered him against the video which he had uploaded on the YouTube. He also has made sure that the post on social media has gone viral where he had written a letter to the Dharmastala police station stating that if at all he would had to visit the Dharmastala police station, security arrangements had to be made because he had visualized and he had seen various other YouTubers who were not his accomplices being attacked in Dharmasthala. And also he requested if a video conferencing can be done for the interrogation purpose in the preliminary stages. The Dharmasthala police who reached the residence of Samir in the Bengaluru's Bannerghatta today morning found out that he wasn't there. When questioned the neighbors, it was mentioned that he was staying with his mother, but for the last week, he wasn't found anywhere. And the latest update is he has been granted bail by the Sessions Court. The latest update is that, but on what grounds has he been granted the bail is something to which has to be pronounced as of now, and the clear information on that is yet to be received and collected. On the other hand, we've also seen a post on the social media where a picture of MD Samir along with a couple more people are sitting in the room have clearly mentioned that they are out on bail. They are not escaping from the hands of laws. They are abiding law citizens, and they also have mentioned on the social media post stating that if at all any point of time MD Samir is required to attend the interrogation, he will do that. And they also mentioned that fake allegations against MD Samir cannot be held against him because he is a law-abiding citizen. So we will have to see how this nexus or a group of people who are against the hoax or against the Dharmasthala family and the institution will take it any further. Shravan.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek, for getting us the latest. In fact, this is the biggest story of the day that Republic Media Network is tracking. Shift of focus now to the conclusion of the Lok Sabha. In fact, the Lok Sabha was adjourned, signed down with the Speaker Om Birla lamenting the conduct of the opposition members during the monsoon session. Now, he said that it was time for introspection for all as not much discussion. could actually take place during the month-long session. In fact, the session started on 21st of July, in which the entire opposition disrupted proceedings daily, seeking a discussion on the special intensive revision of the electoral rules in Bihar. Now, after his address, he adjourned the House sine die. Take a look.
हमें एक स्वस्थ परंपराओं का निर्माण करना चाहिए और हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि हम संसद के अंदर गरिमापूर्ण चर्चा करें। लेकिन मैं लगातार देख रहा हूं नियोजित तरीके से गतिरोध करना, नारेबाजी करना, तख्तियां ले जाना। मैं आपसे आग्रह करना चाहता हूं कि ये देश का सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक संस्था है, हमें इससे बचने का प्रयास करना चाहिए और संसद के अंदर भी और संसद के परिसर में भी हमारी भाषा संयमित और मर्यादित होना चाहिए। सहमति और असहमति होना लोकतंत्र की स्वाभाविक प्रक्रिया है, किंतु हमारा सामूहिक प्रयास होना चाहिए कि हम सदन की गरिमा को, मर्यादा को और शालीनता को बनाए रखें। माननीय सदस्य, मैंने हर माननीय सदस्य को हमेशा पर्याप्त समय, पर्याप्त अवसर दिया है, लेकिन जिस तरीके का आपका आचरण है, देश आपके आचरण को, आपकी कार्यप्रणाली को देख रहा है। मैं फिर आपसे आग्रह करता हूं कि हमें प्रयास करना चाहिए कि हमारी स्वच्छ लोकतांत्रिक संस्था के अंदर अच्छी परंपराएं, अच्छी प्रॉपर्टियों को हम लागू करें और इसके लिए सामूहिक चिंतन भी करना चाहिए और सभी राजनीतिक दलों को आत्ममंथन भी करना चाहिए ताकि देश की लोकतांत्रिक सोच संस्था की हम मर्यादा को बना रखें और यहाँ अपने आचरण व्यवहार से एक आदर्श स्थापित कर सकें। मैं इस सत्र की कार्रवाई में सहयोग हेतु माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का, सहयोगी साथियों का, लोकसभा सचिवालयों का, संबद्ध एजेंसियों का हार्दिक धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूं।
Getting in some more breaking news from Uttar Pradesh, where a shootout in broad daylight has been caught on the CCTV. Bike-borne man shot at by the assailants. Police has now begun the investigation. We're trying to get you more details right now on your screens. Coming in the latest CCTV footage. Now, this is from Varanasi. The big breaking news now coming in that this took place in broad daylight. In fact, the bike-borne assailants came in and opened fire. In fact, it turns out that there have been a few injuries that have been reported right now. In fact, the police is carrying out the investigation. What we do not know at this point in time is the motive behind the firing, first of all. And secondly, with regards to whether at all there have been any fatal casualties, that is not known at this point in time. These on your screen, the latest visuals coming in. This is from Varanasi. The incident was reported sometime late this afternoon. A suspected hostile drone was spotted deep inside Indian territory area in Jammu near the Indo-Pakistan international border this afternoon. The sighting prompted security forces to launch massive search operations, with police actively carrying out searches to locate the drone, which raised concerns due to its movement far from the border. In fact, we've also got some of the images of the hostile drone that was basically spotted by the border security force. On your screens right now, this was the operation that was carried out immediately after the drone was spotted by the border security force. A report coming in from my colleague Gursimran.
Jammu and Kashmir Police, along with the Border Security Force, has launched a massive search operation after a hostile drone was seen inside the Indian territory. Now, Jammu and Kashmir Police, along with the troops of the Border Security Force, they are carrying out intensified searches in the area. These troops of the Border Security Force and the troops of the Jammu and Kashmir Police on the other side, they are carrying out intensified joint searches in the area. And the motive of these searches continue to ensure that the suspected drone that is believed to have entered the Indian territory in the Gajansu area. This area is roughly a 5 kilometer inside the Indian territory, and now a large-scale search operation, a joint operation has been launched by the security forces, where on the one hand you will see the troops of the border security force carrying out the searches in the area, while on the other hand it is the Jammu and Kashmir police. I'll request Ashu to show you the troops of the J&K police on the other side. They are searching that very area of that is a densely populated area. This has some residences, the people reside there, and it is this area only where the suspected hostile drone was seen earlier this morning. A 30-second video clip was also made by the locals that was shared with the security agencies, after which this operation has been launched by the security forces, and now as we speak the searches are underway. This is really very crucial because it is coming at a time when we have seen desperate attempts being made by the Pakistan to push weapons and narcotics into the Indian territory, but all that attempts stand foil. Now what it seems that this was also a hostile drone of the Pakistan that was there, but their attempt seems to now being countered by the security forces when the joint forces have now inducted into the operation, and with the sophisticated weapons. It is border security force on the one hand that is carrying out the searches, and on the other hand it is the Jammu and Kashmir police, because see this there is a thin vegetation, a grown vegetation at this place right now where we are standing, and this vegetation allows the enemy to exploit this area.
Coming up, a super prime time 6 at 6 with my colleague Rakshit. Group Captain Shubhangshu Shukla responds to Republic questions. Whole conversation coming up soon. TVK Chief Vijay holds a massive rally in Madurai. See if supporters gather in mega show of strength.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
I would love to be Lakshman to this Ram any day. Entire experience when we were there, I can just sum it up in Sat Chit Anandam. But also in the arts, whether it's space management, whether it's culture, whether it's space diplomacy, the future is space and future technology. Jai Hind to all my countrymen. Thank you for inviting us out here today. A few months from now, we're going to be having Diwali. And that's the time when Sri Ramji entered Ayodhya.
Conspiracy by mystery group to defame Dharmastala. Paid off activists, political links and money trail in focus. Maoist media goes silent after Dharmastala hoax unmasked. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
I choose a world where we care and we dare to love. I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics.
Living my best life.
Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
What makes you a legend? Maybe that you're followed by everyone. Maybe that you follow no one. Maybe both. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
Conspiracy by mystery group to defame Dharmastala. Paid off activists, political links and money trail in focus. Maoist media goes silent after Dharmastala hoax unmasked. Debating tonight at 8 p.m. As India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching the latest edition of 6 Stories at 6, and I am Rakhta Misha with you. We'll start today's show with the hoax behind the Dharmastala story, viewers. The investigation is underway. The arrests have been made in the matter. Everything from ground zero we're going to show you in this show. Also, story number 2 is India's space hero speaking to the media today, sending out the message for all those who are aspiring for the space. Also, the other story on the show is the hit and run case, another hit and run case in the country. This time it's from Punjab, where an elderly man is mowed down. And the political storm that has erupted in Kerala, will get you each and every update on that. Also, story number 5 is Dr. S. Jaishankar visit to Moscow and the statement, the joint statement that has been released. And also, finally, Republicans schools Trump. Yes, a Republican is schooling Donald Trump. It's Nikki Haley who has in fact made a very, very strong statement. We'll get you all that. But first, we start with the big story that we have been tracking for you. It is India space hero Group Captain Shukla, viewers. 26th of June 2025, when he became the first Indian astronaut to reach the International Space Station, and he marked this monumental achievement for the country. This was not just an individual triumph, but a collective victory for the 1.4 billion citizens of India. Now, Group Captain Shukla spent 18 days aboard the ISS as part of the US-based Axiom Space's Mission 4, alongside astronauts from the United States, Poland and Hungary. Now, after an intense month of rehabilitation, Shukla returned to India on the 17th of August, bringing with him not only his personal experiences, but also India's ambitions for the future of space exploration. Reflecting on his journey aboard the ISS, here's what he had to say.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff.
On June 26, 2025, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla achieved the unthinkable, becoming the first Indian to reach the International Space Station. His 18-day aboard the ISS was part of the US-based Axiom Space Mission 4, alongside astronauts from the United States, Poland, and Hungary. But for Shukla, the mission was far more than a personal achievement. It was a collective triumph for 140 crore Indians. Speaking at a press briefing following his return to Earth, Shubhanshu said that the mission felt like the mission of an entire nation. He thanked every citizen of India for making him feel as though the mission belonged to them. A sentiment that resonated deeply across the country.
I would like to thank each and every citizen of this country who behaved in a way that they actually owned this mission. I really felt that this was a mission for this entire nation.
He also thanked the government and ISRO for making the mission possible.
To start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission.
Reflecting on his journey aboard the ISS, he highlighted the value of India's deep-rooted expertise in space science. Sharing his experience, Shukla noted that being on the space station is very different from what you learn on the ground.
जब आप उस रॉकेट पे बैठते हैं और जब वो इंजन इग्नाइट होते हैं, when they catch fire, I think it is a very different feeling. I had not imagined of how it would feel like, and I was actually, running behind the rocket for the first few seconds. I took time to catch up to it. From that point of time till the time we splashed down, the experience has been unbelievable. So exciting. That point of time till the time we splashed down, the experience has been unbelievable. It has been so exciting and so amazing that I really have been struggling to find words of how do I convey to you so that you live that through my words. Probably I'll take some more time.
His 18-day aboard the ISS was packed with several experiments led by ISRO and other activities on the orbital lab.
Crew Dragon is one of the 3 vehicles which can take humans to space as of now. And we were fortunate to have the training on the other one, the Soyuz, which goes from Russia, as well as Crew Dragon now. International Space Station, as you know, is an orbiting laboratory which has been there since 2000 and has been conducting cutting-edge science and is actually a perfect example of marvel of human engineering and human collaboration.
Shubhanshu's achievement not only raises India's profile on the global space stage, but also strengthens the country's legacy in astronomy. From the ancient alignments of the temples to the precision of modern-day space science, India's contributions to astronomy have been recognized worldwide.
I think there is a lot of respect in what India and ISRO have been able to achieve in terms of space exploration, and that is everywhere the same. There was no aberration or no odd person out that who did not believe in this. And my crewmates actually made me sign and said that whenever the launch happens, you need to invite us. And after that, we need to travel in your vehicle, in Gaganyaan. So I think that is the kind of excitement and respect that they have for us as far as space exploration is concerned.
Surya Siddhantam was from this land only. Actually, it's not that we didn't go to space. We just took a sabbatical so the rest of the world could catch up. And now we are just, once they have caught up, we are also going back there.
Shubhanshu's journey to the ISS may be the first step, but it is an important one. As India reaches new frontiers in space, one thing is clear: the nation's journey beyond Earth has only just begun. With a historic AX-4 mission completion and with Gaganyaan on the horizon, the next giant leap is already underway. And the stars? They may be closer than we think.
Another hit-and-run case now has come to the fore, and this time from Malanpur in Punjab. A 65-year-old man was crushed to death by a speeding car driven by a college student. Beer bottles were found inside the vehicle, and shockingly, the police allegedly tried to hush up the case with a cash settlement. Here's more.
Another day, another hit-and-run case. This time from Mullapur in Punjab, 13 kilometers away from Chandigarh. A speeding car mowed down a 65-year-old man near the Air Force Station. The car was driven by a college student with 3 others also inside the car. All 4 teenagers are students of a management college in Sarangpur. Beer bottles have also been recovered from the vehicle. However, no FIR has been registered in this matter. Instead, police tried to bury the case with 9 lakh rupees settlement.
2 लेडीज थी और बंदे थे, 1-2 लड़के थे। उसके बाद वो सब शराब के नशे में थे, बियर शेयर पी रखे थे। उसमें बियर की गत्ता और पेटियां भी निकली, सारा चीज़ निकला। वो गाड़ी नहीं रोक रहे थे, फिर गाड़ी किसी तरीके से और बाकी यात्री ने रुकवाई है।
जब एक्सीडेंट हुआ उसके बाद वो रुके नहीं और आगे चले गए।
वहाँ पर वो आगे जाने के बाद 200-300 मीटर दूरी पे चले गए। फिर दूसरे यात्री ने रुकवाया और गाड़ी वाले ने उनको खड़ा करवा के रुकवाया। फिर वो उनको रुकवाने के बाद यहाँ लाश यहाँ पड़ी हुई थी, वो तुरंत खत्म हो गए।
These are the blood stains which has now dried up around 11:25 yesterday. The Jog Singh was crossing the road from left side towards the right side when the speeding car, which was being driven by youths aged between 20 to 24, the speeding car crushed Jog Singh immediately.
Another life lost on the road. Another family devastated as reckless driving continues to claim innocent lives.
Now, a storm is brewing in Kerala politics. Now, Congress MLA from Kerala, Rahul Mamkutatil, has resigned as the state youth Congress president over allegations of misbehavior by an actor. Actress Rini George accused a young leader of a well-known political party of misbehavior without taking any names. But the BJP took to the streets, naming and shaming him, prompting resignation from the leader. These are harassment allegations that we are talking about here, viewers. Here's more.
A political firestorm erupts in Kerala. Youth Congress President and MLA Rahul Mamkutatil has stepped down. The trigger? Shocking allegations of harassment from Malayalam actor Rini and George. Rini says she was bombarded with offensive messages, even invited to a 5-star hotel room by the MLA. When Rini warned that she would go to the senior leaders, Rahul remained unfazed. He even said, "Who cares?" She then turned to party for help, but nothing moved, and Rahul only rose higher in the Congress ladder, untouched and unbothered.
അങ്ങനെ ഞാൻ ഒരാളുടെയും പേര് പറയുന്നില്ലല്ലോ, അപ്പൊ പിന്നെ അതെങ്ങനെ സംശയത്തിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത്? ഞാൻ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, who cares? അങ്ങനെ ഒരു attitude.
Rini may have stopped short of naming him. But the BJP did not hold back. Protests erupted in Palakkad, accusing Rahul of obscene conduct. Under pressure, the Congress party was forced to act, and Rahul Mamkutatil resigned as Youth Congress chief.
We will take a decision immediately. Without delay, we will take an action immediately. It is not before the party. If somebody is sending any allegation, we will look into that. We will take it very seriously. We will take proper action, no doubt. No mercy will be there. No mercy. Whoever it is.
With the resignation, the scandal has exploded into a crisis the Congress party can no longer bury.
What
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov in Moscow today to review bilateral relations against the backdrop of US threats of sanctions over India-Russia energy trade. He said India and Russia have been the steadiest of the major relationships in the world after the Second World War. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov echoed the sentiment. Watch this report.
External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in Moscow to boost ties amid imposition of tariff by the United States for buying oil from Russia. Amid the US imposing 50% tariff on India, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has pushed to increase the trade with Russia. In a joint press briefing with Russian Foreign Minister, Jaishankar called India-Russia relations one of the steadiest partnerships since World War II. He emphasized on a shared goal amid shifting geopolitical realities and evolving trade landscape.
The relations between India and Russia have been among the steadiest of the major relationships in the world after the Second World War. Geopolitical convergence, leadership contacts, and popular sentiment remain its key drivers. We reaffirmed our shared ambition to expand bilateral trade in a balanced and sustainable manner, including by increasing India's exports to Russia.
The Russian Foreign Minister too echoed confidence, calling this a multipolar era with SCO, BRICS and G20 increasingly shaping the world order.
This is a multipolar system of international relations with an increasing role played by the SCO, BRICS and the G20.
Both the sides expressed hope for fruitful talks and a balance beyond the shadow of Western sanction and global uncertainties.
Now viewers, is Donald Trump risking America's closest partnership in Asia? A growing number of voices in Washington, including one from his own Republican Party, says yes. The latest warning comes from Nikki Haley, who calls Trump's India tariffs a strategic disaster in the making.
A 25% duty on Indian exports to the United States. Then another 25% tariff on India's Russian oil imports. Together, President Trump's measure have sent India-US relations spiraling into a crisis. And the criticism is now coming from the inside. Former US Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley, Republican leader and ex-governor, has warned Donald Trump's administration that the ties with India are at a quote-unquote troubling inflection point and that America is pushing its most important Asian ally to the edge. Haley feels that India must be treated like the prized democratic partner it is and not as an adversary like China. She argues that India is essential to America's long-term goals, moving supply chains away from China and countering Beijing's rising influence in Asia. Losing New Delhi, she says, would hand China the upper hand.
Amid Trump's tariff threat to India, the relationship between India and US has hit the new low, despite the bromance between Trump and Modi. Now, criticism is coming in from Donald Trump's own office. Republican leader Nikki Haley has clearly stated, in fact has warned Donald Trump, saying that the India-US relationship is at troubling inflection point. She goes on to explain as to why it is crucial to get back the India-US relationship on track, which is very, very critical for the administration's foreign policy as far as outcompeting China is concerned. She has also stated that US must see India as a free-priced democratic partner. Now, it remains to be seen whether Donald Trump is going to listen to it or afford to lose New Delhi, giving upper hand to China.
Trump claims he's putting quote-unquote America first. For Haley and like her many other politicians, it's America risking its ties with India and the best chance to checkmate China. Will White House listen or let tariffs drive a wedge between Washington and New Delhi?
Now the Dharmastala hoax is exploding, viewers, from YouTubers to activists, because those who have been talking about it are all under lens now, viewers. Now this has come across as a conspiracy to defame the religious side. The temple, whoever has conspired, are facing the heat now. It's Mahesh Timarodi, who has been detained as well, one of the activists. In Bengaluru, the cops are closing in on YouTube Samir, and in Kodagu, protests turned chaotic after Puneet Kerehalli was denied permission to speak. From arrests to clashes, the news is tightening around the quote-unquote anti-Dharmastala gang.
The Dharmastala hoax has entered a new chapter. Focus now shifts to the conspirators, paid activists and the YouTubers who orchestrated the smear campaign. Action looms large over the anti-Dharmasthala gang, Samir Mattanavar and Mahesh Shetty Timmadodi. In Udupi, activist Mahesh Shetty Timmadodi has been detained by the police. Interrogation has been underway for over an hour and a half. He is likely to be produced before the court soon. Timmadodi's arrest comes after police booked him under 2 non-bailable sections. Lawyers rushed to the station with property papers and surety, but the charges are serious. Meanwhile, in Bengaluru, Dakshina Kannada cops reached YouTuber Samir's rented house in Banarghtta. Samir is accused of releasing a 23-minute AI-manipulated video filled with fabricated claims, leaked witness details, and provocative calls to protest. Republic has consistently exposed Samir's anti-Hindu content and led the charge demanding his arrest.
With respect to MD Samir being unavailable to the police, it is very clear that he had applied for the anticipatory bail as soon as the FIR were registered him against the video which he had uploaded on the YouTube. He also has made sure that the post on social media has gone viral, where he had written a letter to the Dharmastala police station stating that if at all he would had to visit the Dharmastala police station, security arrangements had to be made, because he had visualized and he had seen various other YouTubers who were not his accomplices being attacked in Dharmastala. And also he requested if a video conferencing can be done for the interrogation purpose in the preliminary stages. The Dharmastala police who reached the residence of Samir in the Bengaluru's Banarghtta today morning found out that he wasn't there. When questioned the neighbors, it was mentioned that he was staying with his mother, but for the last week he wasn't found anywhere. And the latest update is he has been granted bail by the Sessions Court. The latest update is that, but on what grounds has he been granted the bail is something to which has to be pronounced as of now, and the clear information on that is yet to be received and collected.
And in Kodagu, fresh chaos unfolded. Dharmasthala devotees gathered in Kushalnagar, but the protest turned stormy when activist Puneet Kerehalli tries to address the crowd. Police denied him permission, leading to pushing, shoving, and clashes. The situation escalated so quickly that ASP Dinesh had to personally escort Puneet out of the district. He was dropped at the Bailakoppe police station and a notice was issued banning his entry into Kodagu. From arrests to protests, the Dharmasthala hoax is now unmasking its conspirators one by one.
Well, that's all we could pack in this edition of 6 Stories at 6. Live and breaking follows on the other side at 6:30. Thanks for watching.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, मसाला।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
The Agni 5 missile, recently tested, exhibited a flight path that deviated from the typical ballistic trajectory expected of such missiles. Unlike the standard parabolic arc that characterizes most ballistic missile flights, the Agni 5's movement included a distinct zigzag pattern during its ascent, which is unusual for conventional ballistic trajectories. This deviation is not merely a visual anomaly, but a deliberate design choice, reflecting advancements in missile technology and strategic considerations. The zigzag pattern observed in the Agni 5's flight can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, it may be a result of the missile's guidance system making real-time corrections to its path. Modern ballistic missiles, especially those with intercontinental capabilities, are equipped with advanced inertial navigation systems and possibly even satellite-guided corrections. These systems allow the missile to adjust its course mid-flight to compensate for external factors like wind resistance, atmospheric density, or even potential defensive measures. The zigzag could be an evasive maneuver designed to confound anti-missile defenses, making it harder for interceptors to predict and track the missile's path. Secondly, the Agni 5's design incorporates multiple stages, each with its own propulsion system. The transition between these stages, particularly the separation of the boost phase and the entry into the mid-course phase, can cause slight deviations in the trajectory. The observed zigzag might be a visual effect of these stage separations, where the exhaust plumes and the missile's body create a deceptive appearance of erratic movement. This is not uncommon in multi-stage missiles, where the shedding of spent stages can momentarily alter the flight path. Another possibility is that the zigzag pattern is a result of the missile's payload configuration.
Conspiracy by mystery group to defame Dharmastala. Paid off activists, political links, and money trail in focus. Maoist media goes silent after Dharmastala hoax unmasked. Debating tonight at 8 p.m.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
I choose a world where we care and we dare to love. I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics.
Living my best life.
Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
Our pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Sarah, this is your space, slay it your way. आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना। MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
It's good to see you all. आप लोगों के सिर्फ सवाल सुने थे अभी तक, बट अब चेहरे भी दिख रहे हैं, तो अच्छा लग रहा है आप लोगों को देख के. It is difficult to follow Lakshman in speech, you know, but I will try my best. I would like to start by thanking the people who have made this mission possible. And there are multiple layers to this, not just one person. I will start by thanking the government of India for conceiving about this mission and finally making it happen. I would like to thank ISRO for enabling this entire mission, the people, my colleagues at ISRO who have worked so hard for successfully executing this mission. I would also like to, I see some faces here, the PIs, the researchers who have enabled the experiments for the Axiom 4 mission. And I would like to thank them for their contribution and their work for this mission. I would like to thank you guys for bringing this mission to the population of this country, to the common man, and making it accessible by everyone to view. And in the end, I would like to thank each and every citizen of this country who behaved in a way that they actually owned this mission. I really felt that this was a mission for this entire nation. So with this, I have limited time to share my experience of this past 1 year. I will try my best to cover the salient aspects, and thereafter we can follow up in the question and answers.
India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
After Republic, Kannada exposed Dharmastala hoax, focus on the paid activists and YouTubers behind it.
We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia.
External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar holds bilaterals with Russian counterpart, says India-Russia ties are the steadiest.
Key message that I've had throughout the mission, while going up, while on orbit and while coming back, भारत आज भी अंतरिक्ष से सारे जहां से अच्छा दिखता है. जय हिंद, जय भारत.
Calling his historic mission to International Space Center, Group Captain Shukla says Bharat abhi bhi sare jahan se acha, that India remains the best in the world. TVK chief Vijay holds massive rally in Madurai. Sea of supporters gather in a mega show of strength. Republic TV. Republic TV smashes all records across time bands. Your channel is the most watched and most trusted. And he remains India's undisputed primetime king. Arnab Goswami debates buries landing channels, hits 92.8% record.
Getting in some details on the big breaking story from Dharmastala, Republic TV smashed the Dharmastala hoax. And we're accessing the details of the FIR. An FIR was filed against Samir, the YouTuber, and it states that the YouTuber, through his channel called Dhoota, had released a 23-minute video using AI tools that contain false, exaggerated, fabricated details about a sensitive and ongoing case, talking about the Dharmastala mass burial case hoax. The video, the police says, allegedly disclosed protected witness information, made provocative statements urging people to protest, potentially disturbing public peace. Complainant has claimed the content was deliberately misleading, insightful, and have sought legal action against Sameer and his channel, based on which, of course, the police reached his residence, and now he is facing action. He's also got anticipatory bail a few minutes back. The story is getting bigger. Let me see if I have Abhishek live. I'll go across to him and get the details. So as we look more deeper into the story, more details are emerging, and what we know is there were activists, there were YouTubers, and there were people whose claims never added up in the first place. The Dharmastala hoax. Abhishek is live. Abhishek, tell us more about what Sameer has been booked for. He's now got anticipatory bail, but what really happened?
Niranjan, Sameer owns a YouTube channel named Dhoota, where a 23-minute video was introduced by using AI tools, which clearly had a story to express about Dharmastala even without naming the name of the city or the temple. He used various other fictional names to prove and show a story which directly had allegations over hundreds of bodies and rapes being happening in Dharmastala and around river Netravati. At this point of time, a suo motu case was taken into consideration against MD Sameer, who owns the YouTube channel, and after which he also had an anticipatory bail given in his name. At this point of time, the latest update is that the anticipatory bail has been granted to him. Various other photos on the social medias are doing round stating that Sameer is a law-abiding citizen and truth has prevailed because he never did anything wrong. He hasn't falsely allegated anything against the family, and he is also ready to attend the interrogation at any point of time. After the notice was given to Sameer that he had to attend the interrogation in the Dharmastala police station, his advocates through a letter mentioned that there is a severe safety issue because he had seen various other videos on the YouTubers being attacked in and around Dharmastala. This point of time, he mentions that a video interrogation can be taken into consideration. However, when the Dharmastala police reached the Bengaluru Banerghatta's residence of MD Sameer, they found out that he wasn't living in that residence for the last week, and when the neighbors were questioned, it was mentioned that he was staying with his mother for the last couple of years, and it was a rented house. And the neighbors of Sameer also mentioned that they never knew that Sameer was a YouTuber until the Dharmastala video was uploaded on the social platform. On the other hand, we've also seen Sameer indirectly mentioning on the various other social media sites that truth has prevailed as of now because of the anticipatory bail that he has received. But the choice of police is not to arrest. There is no other choice left to the Dharmastala police because of the anticipatory bail. We will have to see how Sameer's advocates will respond to the decision of the court. On the other hand, we will also have to see how the Dharmastala police will continue with the investigation of MD Sameer in the next couple of days. Niranjan.
Stay with me because I'm getting in some more breaking news updates because we're picking up information also about this masked man. The masked man, based on whose complaint this entire Dharmastala hoax was cooked up, it appears that he's been questioned by the SIT once again today along with his lawyer. He was questioned by the SIT. So there is heat on him. His advocate has accompanied him. So they're trying to get more details. What's going on here?
With respect to the special investigation team formulated by the Karnataka state government, the chief of SIT is Pranav Mohanty, who is present in Beltandi's special investigation team office, along with the advocates for the whistleblower are also present for the investigation with respect to the Dharmastala hoax. We have clearly seen that the whistleblower had mentioned that there are 13 spots which he had identified, and after which 6 more spots had been identified in spot number 6 and 11A. 11A are the 2 spots where partially partial remains of the skeletons were found. And upon investigating on a regular basis, he mentioned that there is a team operating behind this. And he also mentioned to the SIT that they are directing and mentioning him as to what has to be informed to the SIT on a daily basis. At this point of time, the SIT wanted to know who is actually behind this nexus. It is also mentioned that Girish Mattananawar and Mahesh Shetty Timorodi are two conspirators with respect to the Dharmastala hoax or the allegation against the family and the temple of Dharmastala. So this is a detailed investigation that is happening between the chief of the special investigation team along with the whistleblower and the advocates for the whistleblower. This has been happening for the last couple of hours, and we will have to see what the outcome of this investigation or the interrogation might be. There are also chances of him being taken into the custody in the next couple of days, Niranjan.
Yeah, there are some more breaking news updates coming in. I'd like to go across to that because the whole story is falling apart right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's the whole story. So we told you about Samir. The first part of the breaking was about the FIR against Samir. So we are coming back to it in the third part right now. He actually hasn't gone missing. He tried to evade the police in the morning. He's now got anticipatory bail. So there is a update to the story. He's not really missing right now. But he was the YouTuber against whom an FIR was filed this morning for defamatory content using AI and cooking up stories and instigating people. He was missing in the morning. He's not missing anymore because he's got anticipatory bail, which means he's safe now, right? But what happened this morning? We are hearing that they tried looking for him and he was nowhere to be seen. Abhishek.
Niranjan, based on the FIR which was registered in Dharmastala police station, Sub-Inspector Arjun and his team had to visit Bengaluru's Banerghatta's location where Samir MD's rented house was present. At that point of time, around more than 5 to 6 policemen visited his Banerghatta's house where no one were present in the house when the police reached out to his place. But on the later note, the police had to leave because he wasn't found. The localites and the neighbors were questioned with respect to MD Samir's arrival or his staying about in Banerghatta's rented house. It was mentioned that he was staying with his mother for the last couple of years and he wasn't to be seen in the last couple of weeks is what the neighbors informed the police station. After which the police had to leave from Bangalore after a failed attempt to nab him from his residence. This point at current situation is that MD Samir, who was said to be missing since morning, has appeared in the social media through his photos and letters stating that. And also various other social handlers of Samir's followers have mentioned on the social media that he is a law-abiding citizen. He was never missing. He had informed the Dharmastala police station that he would always follow the law and he would always want to attend the investigation and the interrogation. Just that the safety is the issue and that is the reason why he didn't want to make it until Dharmastala police station because he had watched on television that a couple of YouTubers were attacked in Dharmastala after reporting against Dharmastala. So he also mentioned since if at all it is a mandation that he had to visit Dharmastala police station, he also demanded a tight security be provided to him, or probably the third choice he gave to the police station was a video conferencing investigation in the preliminary attempt so that the basic data will be given to the police, after which if at all he had to visit personally, he also demanded the security. And the police still continued the search for Samir's actual location based on his mobile network and the tower dumping. However, by the noon, we have received an information from the Sessions Court that he has been granted the anticipatory bail and yet his location is unknown as of now. Niranjan.
Okay, thank you for that. There's some more breaking news now coming in. Let's go across straight to that. The Prime Minister has tweeted. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken to the French President Emmanuel Macron. Prime Minister Modi tweeting that he's had a very good conversation with his friend President Macron and that he exchanged views on efforts for peaceful resolution of conflicts in Ukraine and in West Asia, reaffirming commitment to further strengthen the India-France strategic partnership. As Prime Minister Modi sharing his views on the Ukraine situation with Macron, who of course was there along with Zelensky and other leaders of European nations a few days back in Washington. They discussed an end to the Ukraine war and Macron was there, one of the top leaders from Europe, along with Meloni of Italy. The German Chancellor was there. and they discussed a possible end. So Macron discussing with the Prime Minister, Prime Minister Modi exchanging his views on the efforts for a peaceful resolution of conflicts in Ukraine and also in West Asia. A reference perhaps to the situation in Israel and Gaza, reaffirming India's commitment to further strengthen the India-France strategic partnership. Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, and my colleague will be joining us live on the story. In fact, a few days back, President Macron also congratulated the Prime Minister when he spoke to him on Independence Day. That was a message that he sent out, not really a call, a message, when he hoped that the strategic partnership between India and France would continue to deepen towards 2047 and beyond. The French President had said in that tweet that he fondly recalled welcoming his friend Modi to France in February and looks forward to further deepening the strategic partnership between India and France. Last month, the French Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs of France, Jean-Noël Barrot, had also highlighted that France and India are united by trust, are driven by a shared ambition, and in that spirit, both leaders have connected once again. And Abhishek is joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, interesting set of calls. Putin called on Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister Modi speaking to Macron on a possible end to the war in Ukraine now.
So this one fact, one geopolitical fact, so to say, which is the centrality of India in all these negotiations taking place. Now look at the geography. We are in South Asia, and the war is happening in Europe, and the Trump administration is going hammer and tongs against us unfairly so. And yet you have world leaders calling us. We have had Prime Minister speaking to Russian President Vladimir Putin. We have had Prime Minister speaking to Brazil's Lula. We have had Prime Minister speaking to South African President. We have had Prime Minister speaking to Macron. Now we have had Prime Minister speaking to Zelensky also. One of the few world leaders, apart from Trump, who can speak to both the sides in the Europe war. So I think this should be a strong message to the Washington DC establishment that for all their dissing of India and all their villainizing of India, the fact of the matter is we have a stature. Prime Minister Modi has a stature. He's seen as a statesman by every one of the world leaders who are speaking to him, and that is the reason why we are fully involved. So I think this bodes well in terms of India's contribution to the overall peace process. Not the first time over the last 2 years we have remained engaged on both the sides, and the fact that Prime Minister has travelled to Kiev, Prime Minister has travelled to Moscow in the same period, something which even Trump has not been able to do till now. Biden never intended to do it, and Macron cannot do it. Macron did, in fact, but the Germans, for example, have not done it. So I think in that sense, this is a significant milestone insofar as India's journey in the geopolitical firmament is concerned, and this is a moment where we should be seeing this as an occasion where our stature is being acknowledged.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Abhishek. Getting some breaking news now from Bijapur in Chhattisgarh. In a big blow to Maoist operation, the joint team of DRG Bijapur, Bairamgarh police have arrested 5 active Maoists, including 4 with a bounty on their heads, totaling about 6 lakh rupees in an operation in the Bengali forest. The security forces also seizing a cache of explosives and contraband. Significant development in the fight against Maoist insurgency. Okay, Bharat is joining us live. I'll go across to him and get a response to this. Bharat, थोड़ा बताइए हमें ये जो हुआ है अरेस्ट छत्तीसगढ़ में कितना सिग्निफिकेंट है, कितने लोगों को पकड़ा है और इनका रोल क्या था वहाँ पे माओइस्ट ऑपरेशंस में?
देखिए, बिल्कुल मैं आपको बता दूंगा कि छत्तीसगढ़ के बस्तर के बीजापुर में 4 माओवादी सहित 4 इनामी माओवादी सहित 5 जो नक्सली हैं उनको पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार किया है। पूरी बात मैं आपको बताता हूं विस्तार। जिस इलाके से उनको गिरफ्तार किया गया पूरा जो इलाका है बहरमगढ़ थाना क्षेत्र के अंतर्गत जो इलाके पे जो बंगाली पड़ता है, जो बंगाल की जो गांव पड़ते हैं, उस पूरे इलाके पे इनकी मौजूदगी थी। पुलिस एंटी नक्सल ऑपरेशन के लिए निकलती है, सर्चिंग के लिए निकलती है, क्योंकि बीजापुर अति घोर नक्सल प्रभाव क्षेत्र है। ऐसे में जो पुलिस की तैनाती होती है, हर वक्त चप्पे पे उनकी तैनाती होती है। तो एंटी नक्सल ऑपरेशन के लिए निकले थे, सर्चिंग पे जब निकले थे, उस दरमियान ये संदिग्ध की अवस्था पे पुलिस को पाया गया। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो संदिग्ध है, जो प्रश्न का जो विषय है, वो पुलिस को होता है और पुलिस इनको हिरासत में ले लेती है। जब हिरासत में पुलिस इनको लेती है तो पूछताछ की जाती है। तो उस दरमियान जो इनके पास जो उपकरण जो बरामद होते हैं, वो विस्फोटक पदार्थ रहते हैं, जो अत्याधुनिक जो लैस जो रहते हैं, जो माओवादी जो इस्तेमाल करते हैं जवानों को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए, पुलिस को नुकसान पहुंचाने के लिए, वो तमाम जो सामग्री है, तमाम जो इक्विपमेंट्स है, तमाम जो जेलेटिन वायर है, वो तमाम सारी चीजों के साथ ये पुलिस उनको पकड़ती है। तो कहीं ना कहीं जो संदेह पुलिस करती है, वो संदेह हकीकत में बदल जाती है और पूछताछ करने पर उनके बारे में जब जानने की कोशिश की जाती है तो 4 जो माओवादी हैं वो इनामी नक्सली रहते हैं। ऐसे में उनके साथ एक और जो माओवादी है, कुल मिला के 5 जो माओवादी हैं, जो नक्सली हैं, उनको पुलिस ने हिरासत ले लिया है। हिरासत में लेने के बाद वैधानिक तौर पर उन पर जो कार्रवाई की जानी चाहिए वो कार्रवाई करके उनको न्यायालय रिमांड पर भेज दिया गया है। हालांकि जिस इलाके से उनको पुलिस ने हिरासत में लिया है, वो पूरा जो इलाका है बीजापुर जिले से बहरमगढ़ ब्लॉक के अंतर्गत आता है। उस इलाके पे एक गांव पड़ता है, उस गांव के आसपास ही इनकी मौजूदगी थी। कहीं ना कहीं जहां पे इनकी मौजूदगी थी, बताया जा रहा है कि कई घटनाओं पर ये शामिल भी रहे हैं। जब इनकी विवेचना करना शुरू की पुलिस ने, इस पूरे विषय पर पड़ताल करने की कोशिश की, तो कहीं ना कहीं जो बहुत सारे जो खुलासे हैं, पुलिस को जो सुराग है उनसे वो मिले हैं। तो जिस तरीके से
थैंक यू विजय भरत, थैंक यू। बड़ा ब्रेकिंग आ रहा है पाकिस्तान से, मैं उस पे जा रहा हूं अभी। देयर इज अ ब्रेकिंग न्यूज अपडेट कमिंग इन। देयर इज एन एक्सप्लोजन इन कराची। नाउ वी डोंट नो वेदर इट वाज एन एक्सप्लोजन और अ ब्लास्ट, but very dramatic pictures that are coming in from Pakistan. A big explosion was heard. The nerve center of Pakistan's economy, which is Karachi, being hit by explosions. Now we don't know what is the cause of this explosion, but we are hearing that it was some kind of a storage facility, whether it was a factory or a firecracker storage, or were there some arms inside, we don't know. But look at the impact of it. It's almost like it's anything but a firecracker. It cannot be a firecracker explosion, just the sheer impact of it. This is from Karachi. A huge explosion was heard. I'm not sure it's a firecracker explosion, it's factory. That's what Pakistan wants us to believe, that it was a firecracker factory. But some details suggesting that this was some sort of a go down where the explosion took place. We don't have exact details of what was inside this particular center, and Karachi is the port city, nerve center of Pakistan's economy, and there is a huge explosion. It's a pretty big explosion, and doesn't seem like a firecracker explosion at all from first details, initial details that are coming in, and this was near the Sadr area, near the Jinnah Road. We are being told this is where the explosion took place, inside a factory. We don't know whether it was a firecracker factory, but the official version is that this was a firecracker factory. But the impact of this explosion on nearby buildings in Karachi shows that it could be much bigger than what is being reported by the media in Karachi. This is the MA Jinnah Road. The MA Jinnah Road, where fire explosions were seen. Many establishments are getting hit because of the impact of this particular explosion, at least from the reports that we're getting in. Over 30 people are injured. We are trying to see if there could be more details coming in. This is a Sadr area near MA Jinnah Road, and there are more details coming in. Now, from the initial videos that are coming in, we are seeing that this could be much bigger than a firecracker explosion. This is what they claim. They claim it's a firecracker factory, but it seems to be much bigger than that. All right, we're cutting across straight to Srinagar now, where the Khelo India Water Sports Festival has begun at the iconic Dal Lake. The Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, is there to inaugurate the Games. The Games are being held from the 21st of August to the 23rd, and this was announced by the Union Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports, Dr. Mansukh Mandavia. Part of its growing Khelo India calendar, the inaugural edition of the Water Games in Jammu and Kashmir comes on the back of the first Khelo India Beach Games, which were held in Diu in May. The Water Sports Festival will see 5 sports: kayaking, canoeing, rowing, water skiing, shikara race and dragon boat. Beautiful pictures there from the Dal Lake as the sun sets in Srinagar. They're getting set for the iconic Khelo India Water Sports Festival. And this is an open-age competition expected to see participation of at least 400 plus athletes from 36 states and union territories. Nomination of athletes will be made by the National Sports Federation from their national championships or other suitable events, or as decided by the Games Technical Conduct Committee on a merit basis. The upcoming Water Sports Festival will be the 5th Khelo India event in 2025, following the Khelo India Winter Games in Ladakh in Jammu and Kashmir, the Para Games in Delhi, the Khelo India Youth Games in Bihar and Delhi, and most recently, the Beach Games in the Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. You have the Lieutenant Governor there on stage of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha there, inaugurating the games. Different states taking part there. The mention of the different states taking part in the Shikara race. It appears to be the Shikara race as the first ever Khelo India Water Sports. The inaugural Water Games are being held at Srinagar's iconic Dal Lake. There you see Shikaras crossing the line in that race that is being held in the iconic Dal Lake. This will go on till the 23rd. It started today, and Mansukh Mandavia, the minister, sports minister, has said that the Khelo India Water Sports Festival is another proof of the government's commitment to broad-based sports, creating more opportunities for athletes to express themselves at the national level. Like the first Khelo India Beach Games in Diu, the government saying they want the Khelo India to become more inclusive and reach out to every corner of the country.
As India advances, Congress fuels division. Is political unrest finding global backers? Are external powers quietly fanning internal fires? Debating tonight at 9 p.m.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another testimony to Amity's excellent placement record.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सब का राजा हार्डकोर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सब का राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
I would love to be Lakshman to this Ram any day. Entire experience when we were there, I can just sum it up in Sat Chit Anandam. But also in the arts, whether it's space management, whether it's culture, whether it's space diplomacy, the future is space and future technology. Jai Hind, to all my countrymen, thank you for inviting us out here today. A few months from now, we're going to be having Diwali. And that's the time when Sri Ramji entered Ayodhya. Over here right now, to the Ram that is shook, if I can call myself Lakshman, it feels like there's Diwali here today when all our countrymen are here to receive us. But remember, even though I'm elder to Shuks, I would love to be Lakshman to this Ram any day. That's how professional he is. But remember, even
I choose a world where we care and we dare to love. I choose a world where we dream and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best life.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics.
Living my best life.
Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डवेयर मसाला
Play it your way.
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
MDH की देगी मिर्च
देगी मिर्च का तड़का अंग अंग फड़का
MDH की देगी मिर्च भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना
इंडिया सोना MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल ये रंग दे ये खुशबू दे ये तीखा ये कम पड़े क्या निराला MDH मसाला
Amid U.S. President Trump's punitive tariffs on India over New Delhi's oil trade with Moscow, former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, has stood up and delivered a caution against Trump's risky moves against India, which could easily turn U.S.-India relations very ugly. Nikki Haley said that India must not be treated as an adversary like China, and the Trump administration can't let the issues of tariffs or the U.S. role in the India-Pakistan truce drive a wedge between two of the world's largest democracies. This comes after India-U.S. ties faced a set of explosive events in the past few weeks. Trump imposed 25% tariffs on top of 25% duty that the United States had already imposed on Indian goods. This was after New Delhi's refusal to accept the U.S. role in India-Pakistan.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Welcome, you're watching This Is Exclusive with me, Shavan Sen. Tonight on This Is Exclusive, I come to you with three impactful stories, starting with Dharmastala. The hoax that was created, who was behind this? Was this part of a larger conspiracy? Tonight, we put the spotlight on that. The other big story that I'm going to get to you tonight, a follow-up on what we did yesterday on This Is Exclusive. It turns out that the IMF has now issued a warning to Pakistan. Details of what exactly does this warning really entail? And not just that, a special breaking coming up on This Is Exclusive. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Republic Canada investigation blows the lid off the Dharmastala hoax. Man who led the campaign arrested. More skeletons are tumbling out. Lens now on YouTubers who raised illegal funding to allegedly bring down the Dharmastala empire. Inheritance feud snowballs. Sanjay Kapoor's mother, Rani Kapoor, denies divesting assets in the under-radar RK Family Trust.
We are a country where actually the Americans said for the last few years that we should do everything to stabilize the world energy markets, including buying oil from Russia.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar holds bilateral talks with the Russian counterpart, says India-Russia ties are steadfast. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan's attempt to mislead financial agencies has now been exposed, prompting a stern warning from the International Monetary Fund over its loan spending practices. The IMF has in fact placed Pakistan's public sector spending under intense scrutiny, with the mid-year budget approval now under review. The global lender in fact has cautioned Islamabad against launching politically motivated schemes and has demanded a stringent review of funds that have been allocated to charitable organizations. In fact, 6 specific warnings have now been issued by the IMF. This after the IMF had actually doled out a massive loan just about a few months ago. Now, as per the review that has been carried out by the IMF this morning, we are given to understand that the IMF has now given a point-by-point rebuttal to the report that was prepared by the Shehbaz Sharif administration. It turns out that the IMF has essentially found multiple loopholes in the way Pakistan has essentially been spending the money. Where exactly is the money really going? The IMF essentially giving this for the development of the country. It turns out that few dubious organizations, which includes charitable organizations that Pakistan calls, the money has been diverted to them. The reality is this, ladies and gentlemen, just about a little less than 24 hours ago, on This Is Exclusive, we had basically exposed as to how Jaish-e-Mohammed as well as Hizbul Mujahideen had come up with charitable organizations, and these charitable organizations were essentially being used to raise funds of those markas or those terror hubs that was completely destroyed by India during Operation Sindoor. In fact, not through bank accounts, but it turns out through other payment sites that they were basically receiving funds and donations that were being used through true digital payment gateways. In fact, now it turns out that the IMF has essentially cautioned Pakistan that they perhaps cannot continue any longer. In fact, what's important to point out here, in warning number 3, this is what IMF has to tell Pakistan, that avoid spending money in politically motivated schemes. Let me also go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, as well as my colleague Gursimran, who's joining us from Jammu. Abhishek, first to you with regards to the latest set of warnings that have been issued to Pakistan. What I found out was this, that IMF is being absolutely clear. They're saying that no money should be spent on politically motivated schemes. And secondly, charitable organizations should not be funded.
Well, yes, Shawan, and I can give you an example of what are politically motivated schemes. These are not schemes, these are scams being done by Pakistan to hoodwink IMF and the world community. So, in the month of February or March, Pakistan sold off about 500,000 tons of sugar. Now, then it created a crisis of supply of sugar in Pakistan. Then they imported 700,000 tons, million tons of sugar. Now, because it's an item which qualifies for, mass consumption for the poor and the middle classes alike, Pakistan gave duty remittance in the sense the custom duty was waived off on the sugar imports. Now imagine sugar first exported at a certain price point and then at more than 2 times that price point imported within a couple of months. Obviously someone made commissions, someone took cuts, and that is the reason why IMF has called this politically motivated scheme, which is essentially a scam. Apart from that, Shravan, out of 5 conditions put by IMF for their extended term facility of the loan, extended fund facility as it is called, of about $7 billion, Pakistan has failed to meet 3 of those 5 conditions, including raising the amount of revenues that the Federal Board of Revenue or the central government has to raise, as also the 4 state governments or the provinces of Pakistan. Having said that, I think there is a comprehensive review coming up next month, in the month of September, and then perhaps Pakistan could be read the Riot Act. This is essentially a warning shot coming in from the IMF. We still don't know for what impact, because even the loan that was given in the midst of Operation Sindoor was seen as a sort of a sop to Pakistan for having provided President Trump with whatever has happened, whatever has been in terms of facilitating some deals for the United States, including, of course, the nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize. So I think even IMF seems like gamed. And while they are making all these noises, the proof of the pudding would be in its eating. When next month comprehensive review happens, this breach of conditions that Pakistan find itself in, would it have an impact on the continuation of the $7 billion of that loan of the IMF? And in fact, there is another tranche of $1 billion that has to come off post the next month review. If that is stopped, then maybe perhaps we would have an understanding of whether IMF is actually being honest about it or not.
Well, Abhishek, I'll request you to stay on with us. We have now got more details of what are the conditions that have been imposed. And in fact, it turns out that certain deadlines that were put up by IMF, that too has not been completely fulfilled by Pakistan. In fact, IMF's bailout package is in limbo. Pakistan's Federal Board of Revenue fails to even comply at 2 conditions. They've missed the deadline to collect about 12.3 lakh crore rupees as revenue and 30 billion coming in from business. In fact, this was to be raised through taxes, which it seems that they have completely failed, at least on 2 conditions. Revenue deadlines have been missed. Let me also go across to my colleague Gursimran. Can we have both Gursimran and Abhishek on the screen right now as we take our viewers through the details of every aspect of this deadline that has been missed? Quickly, if you can tell me, Gursimran, with regards to what are the 2 conditions that were imposed and the deadlines that have been missed by Pakistan?
See, Shravan, what it was that Pakistan was granted a loan of 5,320 SDR. This is special drawing rights, that is the currency used by the IMF. So out of that, Pakistan got 1,520 SDR and the rest 3,800 SDR are pending. But now what it has happened, that it has gone into limbo, the Pakistan's right to withdraw this. Reason being the 2 reasons, that is the Pakistan's Federal Board of the Reserve that looks into the conditions that have been put forth by the IMF. They have failed on 2 fronts. First was to actually generate the revenue of 12.3 billion, that was lakh crores that have to be generated. They failed on that front. Second was the Tajir Dosti scheme that was introduced by Pakistan to generate the taxes from the small and the medium businesses. The aim was to get 15 billion Pakistani rupees as tax, but they have failed on that front also. So out of the total 5, they have failed completely on the 2 fronts, which makes it really concerning for the Pakistan, because the remaining 3,800 SDR, which amounts to almost 1/3 of the total $7 billion that was given to the Pakistan as this bailout package, they have been kept on the standby. That is what we are getting to know. This is as per the report that the assessment IMF has carried out on 15th of August, and this assessment report has been released by the IMF on 19th. So next, the weekly review will take place on 22nd. That is tomorrow it will take place, and after a couple of days of the assessment of this analysis of situation that is developing, the next things will come out. But for now, Pakistan seems to be in great trouble, and the reality remains that the India has been time and again has warned IMF against granting any loans to the Pakistan or the bailout packages. That is turning out to be true because Pakistan has not fulfilled all the conditions or the compliance that it has to.
Well, in fact, just quickly to take our viewers through some more details coming in. Number one, IMF has now told Pakistan that no, there will be absolutely no space for politically motivated schemes. Secondly, there's a stringent review of the funds that have been given to charitable organizations. That's another point that has been made by Pakistan right now. In fact, they have now missed the revenue deadline to be raised. In fact, can we just make the correction right now? It's the revenue deadline that has been missed. That's about it. It's the revenue deadline that has been missed by Pakistan. Not as far as more details now essentially coming in. I'll just quickly take you through more details. This comes just a day after what we had essentially exposed as to how there aren't charitable organizations, but these are terror organizations that are operating using new fronts. Al-Rahmat happens to be one such new front that has been created by Jaish-e-Mohammed as well as Hizbul Mujahideen. Well, thank you very much, Gursubran, for getting us the latest details. In fact, we've been able to put together the latest warning coming in from the IMF. Will the global body really act upon it, or will it turn its gaze from what's really happening in Pakistan? Quickly getting you another breaking news now coming in. The first pictures of External Affairs Minister Dr. Vijay with his counterpart in Moscow. Remember the bilateral talks that have essentially taken place. In fact, these are the first set of visuals that we have just got of the External Affairs Minister now meeting Russian President Vladimir Putin. This comes in after there was an elongated talks with Russian Foreign Minister. In fact, the discussion was largely around the tariffs that have been imposed by the United States of America and the offer that has now been made by the Russian side with regards to how it would be taken forward. In fact, an offer has now come in from Russia with regards to expansion of their markets for Indian products. In fact, that is something that is now being considered very, very closely. In fact, there is also another big breaking news that we're going to put out in a short while from now with regards to when President Putin actually comes to India. What is it that India is likely to discuss? Top defense sources have now confirmed to Republic TV a few details we are going to put out in a short while from now. But first, take a look at these images that we have just accessed. This pictures that we have is of Dr. S. Jaishankar meeting President Vladimir Putin. A quick word from our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, we've got the first pictures coming in. Is it basically setting the tone for the president's visit to India?
Well, yes, Shaman, you are absolutely right. In fact, President Putin is expected to make his bilateral visit to India sometime in the month of October and November. And the dates are being firmed up. We had a meet already happening when NSA Doval visited Moscow just last week. And External Affairs Minister's visit is, in fact, one more step in that direction. Of course, he's there to take care of the larger aspect of the bilateral relationship as well. But I think in diplomacy, optics really count, and for President Putin to meet both NSA Doval and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. And remember, in the Kremlin, there are two very similar of these tables where President Putin meets and entertains his foreign guests. One is smaller, the other is bigger, and where he meets determines how close he is or what picture he wants to present of the closeness of the relationship. This is a smaller table where he had also met NSA and now he's meeting the EAM. So I think that really gives you an idea of the kind of messaging that's coming in from Russia. Also the fact that President Putin is standing by the side of President Trump mentioned how the US-Russia trade has bloomed by about 20-23%. So I think this is a very important picture coming out of Kremlin, Shawan, and bodes well for not just the India-Russia relationship, but makes us look good in the larger context of the European tug of war that's been happening between Europe and Russia, between India and the United States, between Russia and China, between China and the United States, and there would be a lot of takeaways from that.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek, for getting us the latest details. In fact, we're getting in an inside scoop as to what is expected when Russian President Vladimir Putin makes his visit later this year. In fact, we are now being given to understand India is finalizing, in fact, they're prioritizing Sukhoi 57 fighter jet deal, marking a strategic defense breakthrough. In fact, Russia has proposed immediate delivery of 20 to 30 Su-57E jets within 4 years, addressing India's critical squadron shortage. In fact, the comprehensive package includes unprecedented full technology transfer, source codes, stealth systems, avionics, enabling integration of indigenous weapons. The deal gains urgency amid Pakistan's action. So confirmation coming in inside defense scoop. Su-57, that's Su-57, that's on the table right now in terms of negotiation with Russia. In fact, it turns out that there is already an indication coming in from the Russian side that they are willing to basically give about 27 to 30 such Su-57 fighter jets in a span of just 4 years. Let me also bring in my colleague and our defense correspondent, Ishan, who's joining us on this broadcast. Ishan, a big news now coming in with regards to the deal, the Su-57 deal. How soon can that take place, number one? Number two, what has been finalized so far?
Chavan, sources have confirmed to Republic that visit of Mr. Putin to India, it will be seen that the Su-57 deal will be tabled and will be discussed. It has been proposed that during this deal, the Su-57 deal, 20 to 40 aircraft will be given in flyaway condition within 4 years to Indian Air Force to kind of stop the dwindling number, to help boost the squadron numbers. And after that, there will be a complete transfer of technology, including source codes, and this will help integrate Indian weapons onto the Su-57 platform. This deal is expected to be discussed during the upcoming presidential meeting, and during this meet, it will be noted that this will be one of the larger deals, and this comes hot on the heels of the information that we have earlier received that 97 LCA aircraft have been approved for purchase. These are LCA Mark 1A aircraft, and apart from that, there's ongoing discussions with Rafale for purchase of 90 to 114 for the Indian Air Force. These measures are being taken by the Ministry of Defense to provide the required squadron strength numbers to the IAF in light of retirement of older legacy aircraft such as the Jaguars and the MiGs. This will also ensure that India has sufficient numbers to fight a two-front war against Pakistan and China. Thank you, sir.
Ishan, just a quick question before I let you go with regards to the deal that was supposed to take place. Now, this was on the cards for quite some time. What has really happened now that India is expediting this entire matter of getting Su-57 and also perhaps looking at reducing the shortage crisis that has basically come up in the last few months?
Chavan, a major push for indigenization and defense production has taken place after Operation Sindoor. The army has given a significant boost to purchase weapons and required equipment, and thereafter it was seen during the tragic Jaguar crash. Also, it was noted that the Jaguars are also legacy aircraft that have 3 to 4 squadrons functioning right now, which need to be retired. Apart from that, the Su-27 platform is also aging. Looking at all of these, it has been the government has taken a bold decision to take fast, quick decisions in acquisition of these aircraft, and now they are implementing this decision to purchase not only the Su-57 but also the indigenous LCA Mark 1A, and apart from that, they are also looking into purchasing of 90 to 114 Rafale aircraft. These are top-of-the-line aircraft with best.
Well, thank you very much, Ishan, for getting us the latest details. Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. Coming up, trending with my colleague Rakshit.
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप। Play it your way. Sarah, this is your space. Play it your way.
Being a legend means reaching a point where no one else has. To give others a dream worth chasing. 10 years of Creta, legend forever.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा राजा प्योर मसाला।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
The Agni 5 missile, recently tested, exhibited a flight path that deviated from the typical ballistic trajectory expected of such missiles. Unlike the standard parabolic arc that characterizes most ballistic missile flights, the Agni 5's movement included a distinct zigzag pattern during its ascent, which is unusual for conventional ballistic trajectories. This deviation is not merely a visual anomaly, but a deliberate design choice, reflecting advancements in missile technology and strategic considerations. The zigzag pattern observed in the Agni 5's flight can be attributed to several factors. Firstly, it may be a result of the missile's guidance system making real-time corrections to its path. Modern ballistic missiles, especially those with intercontinental capabilities, are equipped with advanced inertial navigation systems and possibly even satellite-guided corrections. These systems allow the missile to adjust its course mid-flight to compensate for external factors like wind resistance, atmospheric density, or even potential defensive measures. The zigzag could be an evasive maneuver designed to confound anti-missile defenses, making it harder for interceptors to predict and track the missile's path. Secondly, the Agni 5's design incorporates multiple stages, each with its own propulsion system. The transition between these stages, particularly the separation of the boost phase and the entry into the mid-course phase, can cause slight deviations in the trajectory. The observed zigzag might be a visual effect of these stage separations, where the exhaust plumes and the missile's body create a deceptive appearance of erratic movement. This is not uncommon in multi-stage missiles, where the shedding of spent stages can momentarily alter the flight path. Another possibility is that the zigzag pattern is a result of the missile's payload configuration.
Amity has been ranked among the top universities globally for producing the most employable graduates by the Times Higher Education UK. Yet another